Yo, why did I start the process to like start filming and then immediately turn my camera off? I'm like, lights on, lights on, lights on, lights on, recording, sound, click. I shut my whole camera off. I'm just looking like, what? Why did I do that? I meant to just start recording. Why did I do that? What up, though? It is your host, Mr. Always on 10, and you are here listening, watching, viewing the Intelligent Idiots podcast. I'd like to thank you, beautiful, wonderful people, and you need to be educated, idiotic motherfuckers. I thank you and appreciate you for coming and listening to whatever episode number this is. I think it's like 17, but really like 19. We're almost 20 episodes in. This is crazy. Or maybe we are, and I've just had so many specials, I've lost count. This time around, we're jumping, and going past the theme of random Reddit stories. We were almost going to do a random Reddit stories number 3, which of course we will, right? Everything's going to get a second episode. Another narcissist story, another misogynist story, but those drain my soul. They get so sad and they upset me so much. It's just like, bruh. And I'm like mentally just fatigued afterwards. This time around, we're doing sweet and sour love stories. At least I think that's what I'm going for. What did I write in my notes? Because I started reading this the other day. I've been like so busy. I think I have sweet and sour relationships, but I might change it to sweet and sour love stories. Let me see. Let me put this in my notes. Love stories. It's all for the algorithm, you know? Just so you guys can see this. If it's your first time seeing it, you're like, bro, why you yapping? And get to the story. If you want to skip me yapping, click the little timestamp thingies, right? I make sure to put those in there. I think I do. I hope I do. Or at least whatever platform you're listening on should have them, because I made sure to put them there. But yeah, I was going through yesterday, and I was like in the truck, on the way to a graduation event thingy, birthday party thingy for my cousin, and I was like reading as I'm going, because I'm in the passenger seat. I'm chilling. I'm like got my phone connected to my computer. I'm like searching the story names. Like I pulled up on my computer. I'm going back and forth, and the theme just slowly starts to come together. I was like, how did I pull all these up? I was like across the board from different subreddits. I'm like, this was not purposeful. And I was like 5 or 6 stories deep before the theme started to change, and I was like, nope, I don't want to do this story. This won't fit the theme. After like reading 4 stories, I was pretty much set, sweet and sour. I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to find some more, but I'm like keyed up with probably like 12 more stories that I didn't even read through yet. They might be bangers, they might not be. There was like one story that was just like to me. Sometimes I'm like opening up a shit ton of links, and I'm going through and I'm like, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. And I'm like closing out of stuff. I'm saving stuff for later. I'm adding stuff to like Google documents, so I can have it like in this theme and that theme. Like, hold on, let me see. Like I got a petty episode theme. I got let me see, entitled, HOA, narcissism part 2, ? Psychotherapy needed. I got like a shit ton of themes, especially in my notes. I got like 71 different episode ideals, and we've only gone through really like 15 of them. You feel me? Originally there were like 60 plus, and then of course we started doing more themes that weren't already on here. But as I did that last legal drama episode, I looked at my themes and they were in order, and there were like 2 more legal-esque themes. I was like, nah, I can't do legal shit back to back to back. That's cool, but I don't want to get typecast. You feel me? And then it's also like kind of boring sometimes, because who cares about one legally against this company after 5 years of suffering? Nobody wants to hear 8 stories 3 weeks in a row. Like, nah, because I'm not a lawyer. That's one thing, right? I can do the stories, but I can only give so much insight and only so much advice. Because my advice is normally like, punch him in the face. Where's my Oh wait, where is it? Oh, do I not have it? Is it not over here? My advice is normally like to cut them, but I don't have my blade. I always keep a box cutter around. It's got to be meh. All right, I'm doing too much. But we're in another hoodie today. I'm gonna hit y'all with a fit check because Bleach Core 4 is coming out. Right, we inside technically, rocking again even more Bleach apparel coming straight from Delinquents Truly. You already know how it goes. Look at this. Look at this. The substitute Soul Reaper himself. I don't even know if y'all can see this for real. You know, you peep it. Hopefully y'all don't see that I'm in shorts. And if y'all see that I'm in shorts, you ain't see nothing. You ain't see nothing. Yeah, I told you I just got so many box cutters. Shout out to my job. I was at like a completely different location, like a completely different spot. I was like, gimme. I just took so much stuff. Gimme. Some of that shit was just like chilling in an official miscellaneous drawer because it was in like a bag for like years in my trunk. It went from one vehicle to the next as I got a new one. And some of that stuff just will not get used. But it's cool, you know. I got like 17 box cutters and like 34,000 extra brand new blades to replace them. Safety box cutters though. You see that? Oh, did I break this one? I used to break them on purpose at work so I make sure I'd be able to use them consistently because you put a little bit of force on them and the blade would retract because it's like, oh, we designed it so it won't hurt you. But if you break the internal mechanism slightly or just bend it so it doesn't work, you have to really put some effort into it to try and trigger it. I don't know how I did it. There we go. I can only accidentally do it on purpose. So as you can see, it's light outside. And I was going to like do this yesterday, but it was like 11. My medicine wore off. I wasn't really vibing and sliding and grooving and feeling it. And I was like, okay, I can do it at 12. I'm going to set myself up for a timer. Matter of fact, I think it was like 10. I was like, I'm going to do it at 11. 11 rolled around, 11:30 rolled around, 12 rolled around. I was like, nah, I'm getting into bed. I ain't getting to the bed until like 12:30. I just meander. It's the ADHD in me. I just get to meandering. My body's like, hey, you can either be productive or you can kind of float through space and time until you make it up into the bed. I was like, all right. So I told myself I'll wake up at 8 and do this. It's 11:51. I have been up since like 8 though. I was just things happen. Things take place. And now, as you can see, I'm yapping like crazy. But yeah, we're gonna. Do I want to introduce y'all to my minion friend? Nah. We're gonna vibe out. Oh wait, gotta make sure the hair looks good. Y'all like the new retwists? I got these two fucking dreads up here doing whatever they want. They keep like sticking up, and I can like kind of see it. I can like kind of see it in the camera. It's just crazy. But yeah, we're gonna vibe out. We're over in r/best Redder updates with a post by Andre, originally posted by Halo Wharf over in r/love. He called me his girlfriend. Ski. That's the title. That's not me making that sound. It's a ski, SK with 5 E's and an exclamation point. That's not me. And that's not me. Okay. That's Halo Wharf being so nice, so happy. You know what? All right. This needs to be documented that the boy I'm totally falling deeply in love with called me his girlfriend yesterday. Aww, swoon. This is still also OP. I'm not doing the awe, even though it's cute. He is so sweet, kind, thoughtful, cute, Giving, appreciative, funny, silly, creative, adorable, a goof, total dork, sci-fi fantasy nerd, good lover, ambitious, organized. I just love this boy. I need this kind of love. He's not perfect, but neither am I. Something I've learned after leaving a nearly 9-year relationship is, 9 years, is that love and relationships is about finding someone you can imagine yourself with in the future. Someone you're willing to compromise with and make it work. It's about finding that person that makes you smile, that will fucking kiss you for no damn reason, or hold your hand. Less fades, but knowing you found someone to share your life with, that's what love is about. My only hesitation is that both of us got out of long-term, 5-year plus relationships only this past fall. We both still are healing our hearts, but kind of stumbled into this romance. It started super casual. We met on Bumble. Both of us were just looking for a friendly hookup, but over the months, it's slowly been evolving into something more and more serious. Yes, this all sounds amazing. I know. I just worried. And as I'm typing this, I know how dumb this sounds. I worry he's still not ready for a serious relationship and is diving into this relationship with me to cure his heartbreak from his ex. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty damn sure we both want something serious. He discussed us moving in together / living together, and I would like that. I mean, I do love my solo running around naked life, but I would prefer having a partner in crime, someone who always has my back and loves me. God, I'm sorry for babbling, telling you all whatever pops into my brain. Really, though, what I'm trying to say is I'm in love with this really amazing guy that I cannot believe anyone wouldn't want to date, marry, like, love me forever. Can he have a notebook romance? Like, swoon. I really got into this. Again, this is how OP types, and not me. This is not. Let me get back to it. I can't stop thinking about him, and not in a lustful, crazy way. And just throughout the day, I'll think about him, and it makes me smile. Heavy, dreamy sigh. That's what OP wrote. I sound like a blubbering bonehead. I want to marry him. I want to be with him forever. And also, I never, ever considered having kiddos, but I could actually imagine that with him, which is nuts. God, what has happened to me? I'm open to folks' thoughts, questions, whatevs on my disorganized posts. Heart emoji. Thank you and much love. Hello, Wharf. I'm signing out. And since we're reading this from Best of Redditor updates, everything is all compiled into one story. So the person, the OP of the story, not the original OP, not the OOP, Andre, grabbed a comment, and it has no information on who the commenter is. It just says, I read it as if I was your boyfriend. It's not weird. You grabbed a really weird comment, but all right. The original OP says, it's become art at that point. And if it brings you joy, that's all that matters. I know this is like such a real ass story because this original post is from it's from pre-AI days. And there's so many errors, spelling errors, grammatical errors. I'm surprised I was able to read that all the way through. But it's probably also the fact that it matters not 1 a.m. when I'm reading this. The comments or replies to OP's reply, it was a hearty read. All the good feels. I'm not having much luck on love lately, so I appreciate your post. Heart emoji. Yeah, you and me both. I vibe out with that. I thoroughly vibe with that commenter person, number one. So let's slide over to the updates. I recently posted, quote, he called me his girlfriend, ski, unquote, end quote. about how I was falling in love with this boy I met through Bumble. The details of our background can be found there, which is what I just read. We both got out of long-term 5+ year-long relationships with our significant others this past fall. Both of us turned to the powers of technology vis-a-vis dating apps to find casual hookups or a casual hookup. Hey, we're human. We has needs. I just hear something. I'm trying to get my volume good. I want to make sure the sound isn't being picked up. Anyways, both of us did not know how to do this. I'll never forget how our first dates ended up with us sitting in my car because I was too nervous to meet him in the cafe. We just talked and talked and talked about random shit. And we also discussed STDs because we're here to bang, lol. The casual tryst. Tryst? I've never said that word out loud before in my life. Tryst. How do you guys pronounce it? This casual tryst slowly began evolving over the months. Both of us were in different places emotionally, both grieving, in pain, hurting, crying, healing our hearts because we had thought our past significant others were it. They were the ones. We imagined lives together, forever. And for different reasons, I dumped my significant other for many reasons, the biggest being he was mentally unstable and began abusing drugs. Ooh. And the darling boy I love now, let's call him Egg, was dumped because his significant other thought they weren't a good fit. Egg was everything I wanted, but never knew was out there, waiting for me, waiting to love me. He's kind, passionate, thoughtful, funny, cute, caring, fellow nerd, adorable, creative, smart, organized, genuine. He's the full package. Also, he bakes and cooks and brings me flowers and cards for no damn reason other than me being me. Who is this Hallmark man? I digress. Back to us falling in love and him confessing his love to me. Over months of us hanging out, just chilling at each other's places, doing our weird shit, some of which is mundane, but it is all life and adds up. Playing League of Legends, Nintendo Switch stuff, board games, cuddling, watching cheesy movies. They Live. What game is that? What movie is that? Playing Dungeons and Dragons, him playing with his friends online, and me listening in and loving all the funny stuff. Christmas decorating, Valentine's exchanges, finding him a new apartment, moving him into his new apartment, running errands, folding laundry, doing yoga together, well, which I'm a yoga nerd, baking sweet pies, cookies, all sorts, and cooking, and of course kissing and hooking up, thrown into there for good measure too. Yo, she's deeply in love. I'm vibing with this. Somewhere in the middle of all this stuff, when we fell in love, I knew I loved him. And please, I know this sounds cheesy, but I knew after we exchanged our Valentines. Yeah, okay, it's around a made-up holiday meant to sell candy and cards and crap. But damn, this guy, my Egg, fudging baked me his family recipe pumpkin pie from scratch. Ooh, I just had a key lime pie this morning as breakfast. Wild thing to do. Super wild thing to do, but I loved it. Not a pumpkin pie person, but if somebody baked me pie from scratch, I can't say what I would do because my mother watches these episodes. I can't do that. A couple of things he did. The grammar is killing me. One, remembered me saying pumpkin pie is my favorite pie. Two, planned ahead. Grocery shopping, time to bake pie, etc. Even grabbed the whipped cream as I told him I like a little pie with my whipped cream. Yeah, I glob it on like no one's business. Three, from scratch, like he roasted an effing pumpkin or whatever the hell it is you do. He did not get canned. He also made his own crust. There were 0 cheats in this bake, and he did this for me. 4, He delivered the pie to me along with a card, of course. Now, I knew I love this guy. Yes, this is how OP types. When he gave me this most amazing display of affection, time, effort, thoughtfulness, and to top it off on the weirdly we meant for each other vibes, we both somehow given each other Yoda cards. Okay, sure, Star Wars is pretty all around us. It's kind of like the Force. You feel it. But this felt so funny and perfect and meant to be since, okay, like everyone, don't judge me. We were watching that ridiculous seagulls. Stop it now. A bad lip reading of The Empire Strikes Back. I'm unaware of what this is. Do we watch this together? We're taking a break real quick to do a reaction. Let's see.
Penny for your thoughts.
I hate Brenda, and a bad guy hit me in the shin, and I peed all in my pants.
It's nothing a little music can't help. Rockin' and rollin'. Down to the beach I'm strolling. But the seagulls poking my head, not fun. I said, seagulls, stop it now. Everyone told me not to stroll on that beach. Said seagulls gonna come, hook me in a coconut, and they did.
What the fuck?
And they did. And we go like, nothing I could do but yell when these birds attacked me. When I tried to run, I fell, and then these kids started laughing. And then got hit in the neck with a hacky sack. Where did it come from? Now run. I can be a backpack while you run.
What the fuck is this, man?
Stop. Put me down. I love to groove and boogie. Yeah.
Great.
Show you some dance moves.
No, I don't want you to.
If I had your giant feet out there on the beach, could about run those birds.
You're a psycho wiener.
Let me grab my beater.
Stop it, please. Don't hit me. Please. Don't hit me.
Come on, man.
This
Quit
is
that
terrible.
banging.
Hey, what's that stank?
You?
Put a fish in our basket.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I did that.
You owe me an apology.
Just hold your breath and see when the time is right. Birds will back your face. Now run, jump. I can be your backpack while you run. Swing from a hairy vine. I can be your backpack while you climb. Stand on one hand and lift rocks with your special gift. Run, jump. Now breathe. Yeah, like that,
Wait,
like that.
hold on now.
One day I was walking and I found this big log. Then I rolled the log over and underneath was a tiny little stick. And I was like, that log had a child. Listen, boy, someday when you are older, you could get hit by a boulder while you're lying there screaming, come help me, please, the seagull. Poke your knees. Stop it now.
Yeah, whatever. You're sort of pitchy.
Didn't like it?
Listen, man. I'm not your friend.
Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. Stop it now.
never again. Am I even allowed to like have this on my episode? I don't even know. Okay, so they were watching this very ridiculous thing that we just reacted to. A bad lip reading of The Empire Strikes Back. And after we watched it, I told him I had this silly fantasy of hopping on his back and pretending I'm Yoda just to be a goofball. We laughed about that. And anyways, the seed of Yoda was planted in our brains, I guess, which is why this greeting card matching set happened. They got each other Yoda gift. They got each other Yoda cards for Valentine's Day. It's so cute. This guy's like paying attention to everything. He's on point. He's me out of me. 10 out of 10. Now, the days and weeks are passing by. Things happened. We continue to hang out, grow closer, share more laughs, more hookups, more silly shenanigans. Egg was definitely going through some shit. I could see his heart was not over his ex. He would still bring up his ex a decent amount, along with having some really down, depressed days. And he was honest about it, much like I was with him. Although mine ended up much more sadly / rocky / painful. It still hurt, and I still miss that person I once fell in love with. That guy who could make some random little sound, which meant something, just between the two of us, and it would make me laugh till my sides hurt. But here, we were in the present, healing our hearts and finding comfort and love in another person we didn't think was even possible. My heart was bursting to tell him after I knew I loved him, and I almost slipped a couple of times. In fact, the very next time we saw each other, I only got away with saying I loved him because I was pretending my dog was saying it. I do a silly voice for my dog. These motherfuckers are so cute. Ooh. I told Egg that I knew he was getting over his ex and was still getting over his ex, and that he would have bad days, but that good things come to those who wait, and all the best things take time. I can be patient, and also there's things I want to share with you, but you're not ready yet. I desperately wanted to tell him I loved him, but I wanted to let him get over his ex and feel openly free to tell me he loved me first. I didn't want to pressure him nor impose my intense feelings. So this weekend, we were hanging out, playing video games and such. We decided to chill on his bed for kisses and cuddles. One thing inevitably leads to another, and let's say we took it to warp 9, you dig? Okay, pause for comedic effect. Whilst he was still inside of me, on top, he says he has something important that he's been wanting to say. I am not one to be great with my feelings. I'm kind of freaking out. I usually hide under a blanket or a pillow or something when he tells me these things. But with him on top of me, there was literally nowhere to hide. I even told him this. I was like, I can't hide under a blanket with you on top of me. He laughed, and then he told me he loved me. My heart soared. I felt like I was in a dream. I seriously couldn't process the information he was telling me. He said so many things that I can't recall verbatim, but they were all very nice. Heartwarming, sweet reasons why he felt the way he did about me. I told him shyly that I loved him too. Even though I've been dying to tell him, I still felt shy about saying those words out loud. It felt dangerous, or maybe it's just being vulnerable like that, which twirls those butterflies around in my tummy. I know that feeling. He loves me. I love him. Yes, I'm an effing adult, but my heart skips a beat thinking about him. And also, he's called me his girlfriend. Before, we were just friends hooking up, but we've gone beyond that. And that makes me so happy. I can call him my boyfriend, my wonderful boyfriend that I love. At some point in our many hangouts, he told me that I'm the fastest person to ever become this close to him in such a short time frame. He's usually more closed off, apparently, and takes a long time to let people in. I am rather similar. I usually keep my heart guarded and tucked away, and I hide my emotions / true weird self because I'm scared of rejection. but he always was so kind and patient with me. I instantly knew I could trust him, but I had given myself time to lower my guard. Long story short, I'm in love with someone who loves me too. I only hope this never stops. I don't want to sound like a crazy girl, but I want to marry him. I seriously cannot imagine myself with anyone else, nor do I want to. He's an amazing human being that I could see myself spending the rest of my life with. I'm ready for the next adventure, and I really hope it's with him. Always. Feeling dreamy, in love, and hoping forever. Heart emoji, Hello Wharf. This is so sweet. This is so sweet. Top comment. That's so sweet. And I hope you too can be the happiest forever. And the original OP replies, Hello Wharf. I hope so too, my friend. We'll see what shakes out. Yo, I like this person. They got cool vibes. We got one more update, and this takes place a month after our previous update. Still this is like pre-COVID and pre-AI, so that gives you a good time frame. This was a hot minute ago. I am seriously so madly in love with my boyfriend. It's crazy. He's so wonderful. I can't even go into all of it. Let me instead share a moment that made my heart melt. We were at the farmer's market this past weekend. It was a gorgeous sunny day, and we were there with a friend of his. We decided to park our butts on the curb and listen to a guitarist that was playing there. So we sat and listened to him play for quite a while. It was fun. After he finished playing and the market was closing up, it was time to get our butts off the curve. Egg stood up first, and then I just put my hands in the air towards him. He grabbed my hands and helped me get up. I said, "Aw, thank you, cutie." And he was like, "Yeah, I always got your back." Heart melting boy I love is so amazing. Anime twinkly eyes here. This might seem really small, but God, he effing makes my heart melt. He'll just say things like that all the time. He really means it. This isn't some bullshit he's saying. He's damn genuine. Another moment. Okay, bonus for y'all still reading. We were on a hike, again with his friend, and we're strolling along. Suddenly, I feel his hand in mine. Swoon. He looks over at me and smiles. Oh my God. Is he real? Yo, she's so fucking in love. We hiked to the top of this gorgeous vista point, which overlooks the bay. Your boy's not hiking to no vista point. I can't tell you how hard I had to fight the urge to make out with him. The only reason I didn't was because I didn't want to make his friend feel uncomfortable. But picture this. You're with the person you love, staring out into a gorgeous view, and you're surrounded by a beautiful meadow. Holy glorb. I had to lock my shit up so tight. Later on, when we were texting, he told me he really had to resist the urge to make out with me as well. Lol. Ugh. I love him. I love him. I love him. Damn, it hasn't been that long since we defined a relationship and became official on March 10th, aka Mark 10. Yes. But I feel incredibly strongly towards him. And I said it in the previous post. I want to marry him. I seriously do. I'm done wasting time. I found someone that loves me and gets my weird soul. I have zero desire to look elsewhere. Where will this love lead? No one knows. Also, happy Lover's Day. I'm planning a surprise for him later. I'll post about it soon. Boop. I'm just smiling. I got something in my eye. I kind of want to cry. This is such good vibes. I love it. 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 This was like forever ago too. I wanna DM them. I wanna check in. I wanna ask them about the relationship. This is so sweet. It's been like years since they posted too. I hope they like still have access to their account or like have their notifications on. Oh, you guys don't need to hear me doing terrible typing. We're gonna I want you guys to just enjoy this. I'm not going to read anybody else's comments. I'm not going to give any comments of my own. I just want you to enjoy the good vibes. If you felt them the way I felt them, I hope I expressed how Hallowworth was feeling as well as I felt it when I was reading the story. Both times, because I read through almost everything except for that very last update twice at this point. Just, oh man. I feel sorry that you guys are going to have sour stories that you have to listen to when you listen to this entire episode. But yeah. All right, we're over in r/relationship advice with a post by Unraveled Words. I, 21 female, slept with 2 people after my boyfriend, 23 male, opened our relationship, and now he wants to break up with me. Sorry for the long post. I feel as though this is a very nuanced and unusual situation, and I so struggled to explain it briefly. So, my boyfriend and I have been together throughout our times at university, coming up on 3 years now. He is my first relationship and my first body, as whereas he has slept with a number of people before we got together. We have spoken before about wanting to have a future together and potentially kids once we both have a stable source of income. For the first time in years, we are spending a few months apart as he has a graduate job and I don't. I have been living with my family home and working in hospitality, so we haven't seen each other in a few weeks. Prior to this, our relationship was a little strained due to academic stress, and we were arguing for the first time ever. We also almost entirely stopped having sex for months, and the relationship felt like it was getting dry. I have a higher sex drive than he does anyway, and so it was mostly me who was finding this difficult. We spoke about it, and he suggested we open up our relationship, and allow each other to see other people until we could move back in together when I found a job in the same city as him. He even implied that the idea of a threesome / watching me have sex with someone else would excite him. As much as this might seem strange to other people, I was quite excited he suggested this, as I have never really had the opportunity to explore my sexuality. I was experiencing some anxiety about the fact that I have only ever been in a committed relationship, and I was worried I would one day regret not exploring more when I was younger. Despite this, I still love him a lot, and no, he is the one I eventually want to settle down with. You sure about that? Are you sure about that? Since we opened our relationship about a month ago, I have slept with 2 people, a girl and a boy. I met them both from dating apps, and I was very open about the fact that I had a boyfriend and I just wanted to explore. Both people were very accepting of this. I enjoyed the experiences a lot and ended up spending a few nights with this girl in her apartment. It was mostly just because I find living at home very frustrating after having the freedom of living with my friend / boyfriend throughout uni, and my parents still treat me like a kid. She and I only actually had sex a couple of times after drinking, and mostly when we would hang out, we would just play Minecraft or go to the pub. Ooh, this is not in America. Pub? This is over in Europe. This is somewhere over there in the British places, the English places. It was more like a friends with benefits situation. I was very open about the fact that I was staying at her place with my boyfriend, and she was totally okay with the fact that I had a boyfriend. So anyway, my boyfriend has been planning to visit me this coming weekend, and I've been thinking about what he said, that he would like to have a threesome. I asked this girl about it, and she said she would be down, so I brought it up to my boyfriend, and his reaction totally shocked me. He went absolutely nuts after finding out I had sex with this girl already and said he had no idea. He feels like he has been cheated on because I didn't explicitly tell him that I had sex with this girl, only that I had been staying at her place occasionally. I was blindsided. OP says sidelined, so I don't know if that's like a British version of blindsided, but they said I was sidelined, which sounds dumb to me in my head, so I was blindsided. right, let me shut up. I assume that he had also been seeing other people, as there have been a few nights where he has not replied to me in the evening or asked to call like he usually does. However, he is saying that when he spoke about opening up our relationship, he meant only for threesomes and not for us to explore on my own. This surprised me as I got a completely different impression from our initial conversation where we spoke about us both getting a chance to explore before we settled down and became adults. You guys are already grown, but okay. One of my friends from uni also sent me a screenshot of him on a dating app from a couple of weeks ago, which I told her was completely fine with, or I was completely fine with, as we were both using them. He says now he only had the app to look for a third, not for him to do his own thing. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. I hope he doesn't say that. I'm saying it. Now he is saying that he isn't sure if he can look past me cheating on him and that he needs some time to think about whether or not he wants to be with me. I am completely devastated. I have deleted apps from my phone and blocked the two people I slept with no explanation. Although I did want to explore, I have always been certain that he is the man for me. We get on so well, and he is dependable, caring, driven, everything I could ever want in a partner. My friends and family love him, and we also share most of the same friends, so our lives are intertwined. We have even decided on our kids' names and the street we want to live on one day. Oh, I've tried to explain to him this was just a lack of communication, and I never wanted to hurt him. I have never even looked at another person until we agreed to open the relationship. But he is just saying this changes the way he thinks about me entirely. He has barely spoken to me since finding out and pretty much ignored my apologies. How do I earn this trust back? There are updates, but like, this sounds like such a weird, high level form of miscommunication. I don't even properly understand how it got to this point. It from your end, it sounds like you're confused, like you got the go ahead and you got the green light, but it sounds like bullshit. For people who are listening to this, I can tell you right now, you the number one rule, if you are both straight, and you know you are both straight, and you both enter into a monogamous relationship, you do not open that shit up. Doesn't matter if you've been together for 40 years and you're like, okay, the kids are out of the house, we got grandkids, let's spice our love life up before we croak. 40 years is a lot. Let's just say 25, 30 years. The kids are out the house. Let's go ahead and spice our love life up. Let's change some things up. There are too many horror stories. Too many. If you have this thought and this inkling that you want to be in a swinger type of open, sexually type of relationship, that needs to start from the beginning. And there needs to be so many ground rules put down, laid down. There needs to be so much open communication. It requires you to have couples counseling. And for y'all to be incredibly open about all this. You don't go into a relationship, have it closed off for several years, and then you hit a interesting part of your relationship where you guys are far away from one another and you know you will be apart for quite some time, and you're like, go ahead, you can go ahead and fuck another person. No. You don't do that. You don't do that. All right? No. There are so many different things you could do. Phone sex, weekend visits. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. And it sounds like there were no ground rules laid out. It sounds like there was not enough communication to the point where you weren't even telling them that you were having sex with multiple different people and that he was actively looking. It sounds dumb. But you guys are sub 25. You're 21 and he's 23. Sounds so stupid. I would never maneuver like this. Open, closed relationship, nothing. Never like this. This is not how you have a good, proper, healthy relationship. I do not approve, and I blame the two of you. I blame both of you. Right. Because at the very least, how are you sleeping over another person's place and he's unaware that you're even doing this? Wait, no. He was aware that you were sleeping over another girl's place, but he wasn't aware that y'all were fucking. That sounds so odd to me. I'm hearing like the weirdest sound right now. What the fuck is that? Is it my fridge? What is that? Is it like the bird landing on the ledge? I got neighbors. It's so odd. Let's go to the update. Thank you, everyone, for the helpful comments, which I did not read, but I will read one real quick. Top comment, or best comment, I should say, by Orwellian Iconoclast. Is that an I or an L? Whatever. Classic. He wanted to open a relationship because he thought he get to sleep with other people. Now he's mad and trying to punish you because you had success on the apps and he didn't. And you didn't misunderstand. He's lying. He played himself and wants to make it your fault. And Mischief Management 715 replies to that. For real, this happens so much, it's practically a cliche. The man wants to open a relationship to get some side action. Inevitably, it is way easier for the partner woman to find others, and the man gets pissed off about her success and wants to shut things down. OP, this isn't for you to fix. Your boyfriend needs to own his actions rather than punishing you for them. Until he does that, I wouldn't be trying to beg for his forgiveness. His behavior is juvenile and a red flag. The only comment for you is don't block the people you slept with without communicating. That isn't cool. They deserve respect, and you shouldn't try an open relationship if you are going to treat others poorly. You can simply say that you are taking a step back to focus on your primary relationship. Won't be reaching out again and prefer not to be contacted. But blocking without saying anything is not cool. No, and like my last two partners were bi. I gotta remember family and friends watches this. What advice do I give without giving away too much information about my personal life? Never mind. Never fucking mind. Back to the update. Again, I read, thank you for the helpful comments. I didn't want to... That's so fucking stupid, bro. What's wrong with me? I didn't expect this post to get so much attention, and I don't... I don't normally use Reddit, so I'm not sure if this is the correct way to do an update. So he finally called me after he finished his work last night for us to talk. I apologized again for the miscommunication and said that I didn't feel we had a detailed enough conversation to establish boundaries and to define what an open relationship meant to us. He agreed, but didn't apologize for his role in that. He then said that he was mostly hurt because I seemed to have developed an emotional connection with this girl, which I can understand, and I apologized for it again. Then asked me if I felt like I was happy in our relationship. And to my surprise, I told him I wasn't. He said he wasn't either, and so we decided to break up. Yo, he bitched out. He bitched all the way out. He bitched all the way out. And this is so interesting. I wonder if he used the woman as leverage, and he was really upset about her having sex with the guy. Because normally there's like generally some biphobia where you don't even care about your female partner being with another woman. Like they don't feel hurt or jealous or threatened that they're with a woman compared to another man because ingrained, what do I want to say? Ingrained, not misogyny, not jealousy. Ingrained inadequacy that another male partner might be bigger or do their partner better than them. There it is. Yep, there it is. Ooh, my brain had to like pull that out. If this was 1 a.m. in the morning, I wouldn't be able to think of that. Back to OP saying, I haven't even had a text from him this morning, and I haven't tried to reach out either. Yeah, this relationship is done. I do feel hurt and a bit lost after the last few days of crashing out. I also feel a huge sense of relief, as well as reading all the comments under this post. I also spoke to a couple of my friends and came to the conclusion that if the two of us were truly happy together, we wouldn't have felt the need to open our relationship in the first place. Bingo, boingo, bango. I am going to give us some time to heal, but now when I am ready, I am free to be a young adult without the presence of a big future looming over me. It has also opened up new job opportunities as I don't have to look in the same city as him so we can move in together. That is a win. I know a lot of people are calling him a piece of shit and a gaslighting liar, but I am still very fond of him, so I don't really care at the moment to argue with him and question his side of the story because he was on fucking dating apps. He wasn't even letting you know that he was having a hard time or a good time or easy time talking to people. Whether he changed the terms of our open relationship or did end up sleeping around and didn't want me to know, maybe at some point I will bring him up on this. But I think the most important thing is for us to both try and move forwards. As for the Minecraft girl, I sent her a text saying I will give her a call at some point soon to explain, and she said that was totally okay and to take my time. So hopefully I have at least made a friend and something good has come out of this. Thank you once again for everyone, for all the help and support. XX. Rather than XOXO, it's XX. So double hugs. Double hugs. Wait, was that a quadruple hug I just gave? XXXX. You. Rest in peace, XXX Tentacion. Let's go find some comments. Let's go find some comments. Let's go find some comments. Comments. So, we had read those comments earlier from Misguided Somebody and Something, Mischief Managed 715, and Orwellian Iconoclast. I wonder what the fuck that is, because there's like an L or a I. I don't even know what they're trying to say. The English language. OP ended up replying to them after receiving a few comments saying to unblock the girl. I definitely will be. She was really great, and I think we could have a friendship if nothing else now. I just did it out of blind panic because I wanted to salvage my relationship. And that's the fucking thing, man. I think the communication was poor enough between the two of you guys. Like, that's the number one issue. That you were definitely, like, slapped in the face by his gaslighting. Because I'm going to just call it a little bit of manipulation. That you didn't see it for what it was. You had the inkling, you had the understanding from the conversation that you had that you could go out and you can go you can go dip your toe into the pond. And you did. And it seems like your ex did as well. But there were not a concrete set of information sharing and rules meant to be had because you were not letting him know, hey, I just got my back blown out last week and I'm laid up with this girl this week. Right. Not even like the basics. You were just saying, hey, I'm sleeping over with this girl. Which may have meant possibly maybe he understood from that, especially because that's like a friend name that you should not know. Minecraft girl, who's that? It is quite possibly a fact of the matter. He wasn't getting on because again, or maybe not even again. I haven't said this yet. The dating apps are like flooded with a ratio of men going after women of like 8-to-1 or like 10-to-1. When you're on these dating apps, and you're a dude, and you're like, oh, I really want to talk to this girl. There are 10 other dudes just like you, also trying to DM, pay for a subscription, send a message, funny tweet, meme, whatever. Right? It's just a really weird place to be on. My advice is to go out and meet people in person. Go out to some events, some nerd shit that you vibe with. Yeah. Say hi to Wendy's Minion. Mignon, right? Go out, do some nerd shit that you vibe out with and meet people there. Make friends there, right? Maybe your friends will introduce you to some people that they think you'll vibe with. And yeah, because this online shit, This online dating shit is just for the birds. It's for the birds. What did I do? I think it's literally like only my last relationship where I met someone online and it wasn't even through a dating app, right? All you're really going to find on those dating apps are hookups, if that, or really weird hard times. Don't find somebody you're like, oh, the bio, the pictures, they can be my match made in heaven, and you start imagining the future with them, and they were crazy. They were fucking. They were a drug addict. They were hiding their kids. Oh shit, you got scammed. That's a catfish. All right, that's the one thing right there. All right, if you're matching with somebody as a dude on a dating app, you are matching with a catfish quite often. They trying to get some money up out of your ass. I got a little tickle in my throat. Hold on. I should have drank some more water. Let's read this comment. There's a paragraph by Sarah Hilliansum. Rant incoming. Not a paragraph, a rant. This is why I and basically every other ethical, non-monogamous person I know don't fuck with people who are opening up a relationship. Lol. I have been ENM, ethically non-monogamous, for over a decade. I just don't want to deal with the meta psychodramas, maturity gaps around dealing with jealousy and learning curve on communication, or is often the case, basic human decency of people who are still heavily coupled and will always choose to hurt others in an attempt to bail out of their crumbling relationship. Oof. I get that people have to start somewhere, but I heavily recommend starting single instead of as a couple. Like, even for two people who are together and absolutely sure they want to do E&M, break up and try that. Then maybe get back together later once you both figured out that you want. I wouldn't take that as advice. Once you figured out what you want and can handle an E&M context, way too much poly literature focuses on opening up as the way to explore ethical non-monogamy when it's probably the worst way to start. I agree with that. Once you start a closed relationship, it should not be opened up. Failing that, people who are opening up a previous opening up a previous monogamous relationship that should probably do this experimentation phase with others who are opening up too. It's still likely to be a mess, but then at least everyone involved is coming from the perspective of prioritizing their pre-existing relationship over other people. Other ethically non-monogamous people will have less patience for that. Some couples will make it work and can demonstrate the basic skills needed to make any type of E&M work over time. Think years. But until then, many of us see the OP situation happen way too often to get invested in someone in that phase. There needed to be a comma there somewhere. They'll pick their scummy boyfriend or whoever, then ghost. If you do this, do not be surprised you are not involved back into ethnically non-monogamous community spaces. That's a mouthful. This person is just type in E&M every single time, but I'm reading it out for you guys. Generally, your previous monogamous relationship will likely not survive opening up. I personally don't think this is always a bad thing. If you want different things, the relationship should end and not just be put on life support. But ethnically non-monogamous isn't there to fix your relationship. Other ethically non-monogamous people are not there to serve as marital aids. At minimum, don't promise things or imply you are open to offering a full relationship to someone when, in this phase, you aren't. If you are still prioritizing your initial relationship over everyone else like this, you don't actually have a relationship to offer. At least be honest that you are trying things out and can make any commitments. Can't make any commitments. And don't be surprised if people aren't interested in being part of your experiment or are at most willing to offer hookups. We have to protect ourselves from the chaos of someone who doesn't remotely know what they're doing or consider other people's feelings. LOL. LOL. I'm going to go back to saying LOL because that LOL shit is just... Ugh. Ugh. And that's one thing. People have a thought and idea of how things may be for relationships because they've seen shit on TV, and that's not real life. That's not real life, especially with very niche things like this. I'm under the opinion and the thought process only like 1% of human beings can live life like this. Mostly for the fact of the matter that everyone has been socialized into the thought of monogamy, the pipeline of dating to marriage to kids and death do us part, that ethical non-monogamy isn't even the thing where, for one, there's fictional media that they can consume via television. There aren't any socialized environments that they may be in where their friends or family members are heavily participating in that type of lifestyle that is and has been successful for years, right? You see everyone breaking up, getting in relationships that are monogamous, but not non-monogamous. And you have the ethical aspect, right? Are you above board in everything? Are you open and honest with everything? Because you have ethically non-monogamous and the non-ethical part. Motherfuckers just cheating. That's just what it is. If you're in a relationship and you're cheating on your partner with other people, you are not monogamous. Your partner may be, but your partner also probably has an STD from the fact of marriage. You're going around fucking around, starting whole relationships and other families with motherfuckers. You are not monogamous. You are not ethically non-monogamous. You are a sexual deviant of the highest order. Let's go find some comments with OP, because I'm just fooling. Actually, there's not even really a lot of comments from OP. Let's see this. By Small Toxic Baby, they drop a comment with 533 upvotes. Unblock the girl at least. So this is like pre-update. Y'all were pretty close. I don't think she deserves to be punished because your soon-to-be ex is losing his mind about something he wanted in the first place. However, this is a good learning point for you. These conversations need to be explicit in what is and isn't okay with other people, should you find yourself having it again. Some considerations. Can you have sex with other people? Must that sex be protected? Duh, condoms. But fluid bonding is also a touchy point for some people. Oh, okay. I see that. When and where is sex allowed / not allowed to happen? Never in the shared bedroom, home. That's common for some people, right? Do either of you want to know if the other person has sex with someone else? All right. Do you want to know? How detailed do you have to be with... I'm sorry. I shouldn't even be laughing. How detailed do you want recalls of encounters to be? Are you allowed to date others, or is it just one and done? What happens if romantic feelings pop up? What happens in cases of pregnancy? Will you meet your partner's others, and will they meet yours outside of potential threesomes? And the list goes on. The idea is to touch on every single possible thing you can think of. That conversation should be long, if not multi-bidet, just to double and triple check you're both on the same page before apps even get downloaded. And this is the point I'm talking about right here with the communication. I love that I even read this comment. They touch on everything and then leave it open-ended because your relationship is specific to you. There's so much you can go over. Even for people who have had multi-day conversations, once the rules and the boundaries get set, sometimes the partner breaks that shit because they think, oh, no, it's fine, right? The motherfuckers get manipulative because sometimes, generally, the person who brings up, hey, let's be in an open relationship is on that manipulative bullshit. They just are. So, Unraveled Worlds, which is ROP, replies to that. Thank you for this. Very helpful. I think the main issue is that, as you said, we didn't have a detailed enough conversation. And so a lot of the answers to these considerations were just assumptions I had kind of made up on my own. And that is the thing. Ooh, that is the thing right there. Man, you guys were kind of on bullshit and fucked yourselves over. But even at that point, we see with your update, you weren't even really vibing with him anymore. So Purple Roller replies to OP, don't blame yourself. If he thought opening the relationship meant you would only do it for threesomes, then he would have been very clear about that. He wasn't on dating apps looking for threesomes. Did you read what his profile said when your friends showed it to you? How are these threesomes supposed to take place anyway, since the whole point of opening a relationship was you were living apart and not seeing each other as much? That's the key point right there, actually. I don't think anybody touched on that. Yeah, what is the point of opening a relationship just for us to have threesomes, but you got to travel to me? It didn't say how far away OP was, but if we're doing multi-hour trips, taking plane flights, the threesome partner that a motherfucker has never met is not about to do that. You telling me I got to drive multiple hours for a potential dick appointment that I'm unaware of, and the first time I get to have sex with you, the person who I was interested in, has to also be with him, and I both don't know what y'all are like in bed? This could be a trash experience. Y'all could be trying to human traffic me. Nah. Find your confidence and self-esteem. 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 Why does that sound so weird coming out of my mouth? Self-esteem. Self-esteem. And tell him he has a couple of weeks to wind his neck in about this, or you will move on. Oh, okay. I was about to say, what do you mean wind his neck? I had to keep reading and stick to it. Otherwise, he'll beat you up about this forever. Oh, and he'll use it one day as an excuse to sleep with someone else. Yeah. You didn't cheat. Don't be gaslit. You'll be okay if you have to leave him. And they left a little flower emoji. Did LP reply to this? Doo-doo-doo. And too crazy, he sees the understanding and the peep. He peeps the understanding. Purple Roller is right about the fact that he is misleading you at best. Logically, everything he says doesn't make sense. We don't have the benefit of his input here, so it's hard to give advice with full confidence. But it sounds like you need to run from him and not look back, since he is trying to manipulate and control you. Yeah, and that's another thing, too. Y'all didn't talk about STD checks? Y'all didn't talk about STD checks? Crazy work. Well, at least OP is out of this relationship. Hopefully you guys don't try to dive into random shit like this. And even if you're like single and you know you're just going out to get hookups, let people know this. Don't have people be under the assumption just because you don't speak on it that you do or don't want to be in a relationship, or you are just going out and having fun. Say that you are staying single and you just want to have hookups. We get along very well, and I want you to either just be my friends with benefits or just my fuck buddy, because there's one or the other. The friends comes before the benefits, and the fuck comes before the buddy. Right? So you gotta be open and honest with these people. You have to make sure you have your STD tests in order. You're showing it to these people, and they're showing it to you. They're showing theirs to you. They are updated. They are recent, right? And you get tested again after you have sex with these people. And again, I think like a month to 3 months later, because sometimes it takes a while for certain STDs to be detectable. I gotta ask my doctor about that, just so I don't give you all the wrong information, because I could Google it, but the websites can be wrong. I'd rather ask a doctor. I'd rather ask a doctor. So matter of fact, the next time you guys go to the doctor, because you should definitely be going at least once a year for your physical, ask them. All right, get a most recent blood panel work done for your body, and then also an STD panel. Period. Even if you're married with kids, get that done. Get it done, all right? Because you might sit on a toilet and get an STD. Nah, sometimes motherfuckers be cheating, and it's good to know. There's nothing wrong with getting an STD panel done yearly, right? I could easily see somebody being like, "Are you cheating on me? I saw your test results. Why did you go get a random STD test done?" No, I got the whole battery test done. I was watching the Intelligent Idiots podcast, and Mr. Always on 10 said, hey, you never know. A motherfucker could be cheating on you. So I was like, you know what? Why not get everything done? I see my genetics are saying I got weak knees, and you gave me an STD. Mr. Always on 10 also said to cut a motherfucker if you act up, then you acting up. So, yeah, just make sure no cameras are recording you once you commit any form of violence in a video game. In a video game. Yo, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. So that's the sweet and the sour so far of this episode. Are you vibing with it? I hope you're vibing with it. We're over on r/Am I the Asshole with a post by Throwaway3747. Am I the asshole for telling everyone to leave me the fuck alone? I, 25 female, have a 6-month-old son. His father is deceased. His father's family don't want anything to do with him, and my own family, minus my dad, have told me that they don't want anything to do with him either. Crack everybody over the head with a hammer. That's my advice. Next story. I've read and heard enough to know that I shouldn't expect anyone to help me and that my kid is my own responsibility. So that's how I've been dealing with everything. I work from home, so I don't really need a babysitter for work or anything either. No, honey, yes you do. You need help. I'm okay, to be honest. I'm still dealing with grief and I'm kind of lonely, but every time I talk to anyone, they always remind me that they don't want to deal with a baby. For example, I sent my sister a funny post, and before reacting to the post, she sent me a warning text saying that this doesn't mean she'll babysit. I didn't even mention my son. Everyone does this to me. My mother, sisters, friends, they also act like I made a mistake for not terminating after my boyfriend passed. So yeah, I'd rather be lonely. Everyone needs to get hit in the face. Everyone. Well, not you and not your baby. We have a family group chat, and although I don't bother texting on there, after my sisters told me not to send any pics of my son because nobody cares except me, I do read their conversations to feel something. I don't even know. Well, I don't know how they didn't realize I was in the group chat because, family group chat is the name of the group chat. But they were talking about how they have a surprise party planned for my birthday, and I lost it. I burst into tears and immediately called my sister, who was with the rest of the family. I asked them what they were trying to accomplish after making me feel like shit for almost a year. She told me to stop being dramatic, but I just kept going. I asked her and the rest of my family why they thought I'd appreciate the party after months of them not talking to me or my baby. My mom told me that she just wanted me to realize how difficult being a single mother is, but I told her to shut up. I then told them all to leave me the fuck alone and don't bother with the surprise party. One sister called me a bitch and the others laughed at me saying that I'm being hysterical and overly dramatic, and they definitely weren't doing the party now, or at least until I apologized. Yo, I set the house that they're on fire. I don't want to apologize though. I don't think I'm the asshole, but my sisters and mother say that I'm overreacting and that this is exactly why I don't have any friends. They say I'm the asshole. My dad found out everything and came over last night and told me to ignore everyone, but I can't stop thinking about this. Am I the asshole? You're the asshole for not cutting them off sooner, but I understand you're isolated. These people are disgusting creatures. I can't believe they're your family members. It makes me curious on like what type of person you are, but at the same token, it's like these people weren't here for you at all. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. Top comments by deleted user with 14K upvotes. Gaslighting, abusive, narcissistic behavior from the family. Block them all except for your father. And start reaching out and making friends with other moms and people your age so you can make your own network and close friends that way. Not the asshole. Yes, this is from a motherfucker who stays in the house all the time. As you can see, I go to work and I come home and I'm on the camera and I edit and I have many more jobs outside of this that involve my camera. Photographer for 13 years, cinematographer like 11 and some change. I just do so much. I do so much. I was like locked in the house editing for a whole week straight because I had 2 different projects I'm working on. One's done. The other one requires me to like absolutely lock in and become the best version of my artistic self. So like I can be like, oh man, I'm a little lonely. I want to make more friends. But at the same token, if I got out and I made like a shit ton of friends and we were like texting and calling all the time, I would not be as productive because I have a day job and I own a business. And here I am trying to have a podcast as well. That's like separate from the business. This makes me no money, you guys. So subscribe to the Patreon. Pretty, please. The Intelligent Idiots on Patreon. Subscribe. Hit your boy with some money, some funds. So, you know, you can enjoy the exclusive episodes, stories every single week. 2 extra stories that you will never, ever, ever, ever hear me read to you and give my crazy opinion on. I hope you like this enough to like actually go do that because that'd be dope. I can't have like any memberships on YouTube yet because I do not have the subscribers. And at least once things get like really, really banging, I'll have like memberships across the board on other podcast sites. But again, I think I gotta have the subscriber base for everything. There's so many sites I'm on. I didn't even realize that I was on so many different places. That's kind of cool. So what again, when I think about doing stuff, it's like, here she is. She works from home. She's got a kid, but it's necessary that she has a group that at the very least she can like bitch and moan and whine to, go out, have fun here and there with, potentially have a Rolodex of babysitters to like mess with you. Because I babysat my niece, my nephew, my other nephew. I don't think I babysat my other nephew. Did I ever babysit my cousin? Babysat my cousin. Wait, yeah, let's bring a finger back. Did I babysit the other cousin? No, I didn't babysit the other cousin. I have so many cousins. I only have so many nibblings, though. Only so many nieces and nephews. I only got the 1 niece, the 2 nephews. I love them. I love them. I need to bother them. I'm in like a DM war with my niece on TikTok. We're just like sending each other, oh, the world is dying. The world is going to shit. And funny shit. Like, just shit ton of memes. Shit ton of memes. It's cool. Everybody's grown now. I think my youngest nephew. Oh shit! It's his birthday. I need to text him. It's crazy too because it's Father's Day right now. So much going on in the month of June. Like my mother's birthday just passed. Father's Day, nephew's birthday. Is there something else going on too? It's crazy. I'm sorry. Then I'm like doing this in the middle of the podcast, you guys. But family first. You know? Doop. Or at the very least, the family that you care about, that you love. All right. I got it on Do Not Disturb too, so he's probably gonna text me. I'm not gonna see it for like forever. Yeah, she needs to cut these people off. And that matter of fact, that this ties in. It's the family that you choose. It's not blood is thicker than water. It is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Those who you choose to side with for a greater cause are your actual true family. You get to pick and choose who your family is. It doesn't have to just be blood related, right? You can remove those who are doing harm to you. And these people are fucking with you. Your boyfriend just passed, the father of your child, the one that you wanted to be with, the one that you chose to have a child with because you said, nah, fuck that. I want to have this baby. And he passed, unfortunately. I'm so sorry that he passed. But nah, you don't need these weak ass people in your life. I don't care if it's your sisters that you grew up with. I don't care if it's your mom. Everyone needs to get hit in the face. And you need to lean on your father, matter of fact. Because he's not on bullshit. And he's not, it seems like he's not in the family group chat, because why would he be? Because he's on your side. But we have more information. So OP replies to the deleted user, who was the top comment. Is it weird to say I'm scared and that's why I haven't reached out to anyone? I do feel like I was being overdramatic now and that I've calmed down a bit, but I'm terrified and anxious. I don't even know. I tried to work up the courage to talk to my friends. I tried to work up the courage to make friends, though. I think being isolated with just my baby for months is getting to me. Yeah, you probably got fucking PPD. And like, here's even more advice. Views from the 31st floor. Maybe you can find an online moms group. You are doing magnificently, handling grief and a baby. Not many people can do what you're doing. Be proud in yourself. And I haven't lost anyone like besides my brother. And therapy is necessary. Grief counseling is necessary outside of just like making new friends who aren't shitty to you and like building a new family to like there's so much. This is so complex. Let's read this little edit, right? My boyfriend's family is very religious and don't like the fact that I had a baby out of wedlock. My two sisters are in their mid-late 30s and don't have children for whatever reason. They were supportive when my boyfriend, no, I didn't steal him from anyone, was alive, but did make a few off comments about how fertile/young I am and how they're not, etc., etc. I don't know why they switched up, and that's also why I lost it. My parents are divorced and my father is not in the group chat. It's my sisters, mother, and stepfather. I'm sorry, I should have made this clear. And now we can see that her biological father is not in the group chat. I don't know how long the mom has been married to the stepfather for, but everyone besides the dad is on bullshit, as we can see so far. Especially her boyfriend's parents. Like, you don't want to see your grandchild setting your house on fire too. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm trying to peep. I'm thinking the two sisters are possibly infertile. Because why are you making comments about how young or fertile your younger sister is? You're in your mid to late 30s. You potentially could have popped out kids now, but definitely earlier. I'm curious if they're married. I'm curious if they have partners. Mindless Solution 32 says, not the asshole. I'm so sorry for your loss. And grieving, parenting, and surviving on your own is even harder. Perhaps it would feel better if you were to go low to no contact for a while. If they believe that the child is unemployed and tells you, imagine the damage it would do to your child when they hear it. Your child deserves love and care, not active disdain from their relatives. And OP replies to this. My dad was telling me this last night as well. My son is all I have, and if I feel like this, I don't want to imagine what it'll be like for him. Thank you. Yeah, you do not want to have your kids around no weak-ass, fucked-up-ass individuals like this. Especially motherfuckers that are saying, yo, have an abortion. Like, you wanted to have this kid so bad. It's just the unfortunate fact of the matter that your boyfriend passed. This makes me sad, man. This is the sweet and sour part of things. Ooh, we got a whole multi-paragraph comments that OP replies to. So Wise Excuse 1015 drops a comment with 496 upvotes and says, oh, sweetie, not the asshole. Yes, OP, you are not the asshole. You are slightly being the asshole to yourself, but you are not the asshole overall. That's my particular rating for this. Am I the asshole? But Wise Excuse says, here's what you do. Change your number, delete your social media, and start new accounts if you must. Move even. But cut contact with your mom, stepfather, sisters, and anyone else who treated you in such a toxic, shitty manner. Stay in contact with your dad, with the condition he doesn't give your new contact information to your mom or sisters. You can tell him that he can say, since you all decided to treat OP like shit and didn't want to acknowledge her son or her as family, she's decided she's no longer your daughter or your sister. Her message to you is happy, nice life, and may you live interesting times, but she wants nothing to do with you anymore. End quotes. Tough. Family is not always about blood and biological ties. My wife taught me this in how she has treated our daughter's friends and in how she has responded to my own family's tendencies of being completely toxic. My all time favorite was when she literally threw my brother out of our home. Him being a former Marine and all, it was glorious to watch. She did some sort of martial arts hold on his wrist and then frog marched him to the door and threw him out and off the porch. Told him if he tried to come back before he could act like a civilized human being, she'd have him arrested for trespassing. She then slammed the door shut and turned around and turned her ire on me. Basically, she ripped me a new one for allowing myself to be treated that way. Because family. Then, when our phone started blowing up, she asked me if I wanted to handle it or did I want her to. I'd just been diagnosed with moderate to severe bipolar disorder and was kind of reeling. I told her whatever she wanted to do was fine. I could use the help. She immediately called the phone company and had our numbers changed. She changed her cell number, mine, and my daughter's. She wiped our social media accounts and started new ones with a limited number of contacts. Only people who got our new contact information were her parents, brother, work, and doctors. For 6 months, my brother laid wait for one day in the parking lot of her job and demanded she stop. Her response was, quote, "I still see you don't know how to act like a civilized human being. Fuck off," end quote. Another 3 months, and my cousin came into town to wait for her in the parking lot of her job. His approach was, quote, "Hey, can I buy you a beer? Then we can talk," end quote. She opted for coffee. She laid it all out, what had happened, my diagnosis and everything. He kind of nodded his head, and she said, "Huh. Well, no one ever said our family was the brightest bulb in the package. I think you did right. Just, is it okay if I come visit OP?" Okay, I see. This reads really weird, but this is what the cousin says. My wife immediately dragged him home, made us all dinner, and we had a great visit. She even insisted he stay the night instead of trying to find a hotel. After that, well, he talked to my brother and my mom and told them that there were some pretty strict conditions for me opening up communications again. And I am very glad my wife did that. After a ton of therapy, I realized that my brother and mom wanted me triggered all the time so they could keep me under their manipulation and control. Wife was having none of that. She taught me how to have boundaries and helped me become a better person or a better me. I wasn't always a good husband, but she stuck with me, and I think that I feel her family is more of a family to me than my own ever was. You need to realize that just because your mom birthed you and your 2 sisters, you aren't necessarily family. Right now, your family is you, your son, and your dad. Focus on that and taking care of yourself. I know it hurts like hell, but trust me when I say it does get easier to cope with. Cutting them out like a cancer will take time to recover from, but you will be stronger for it. As an aside, my wife has disowned her extended family a couple of times in her life for similar reasons as the stunts your mom and sisters have pulled. She does talk to them now, but if they start getting close to stomping on her boundaries again, she's quick to say, "What made you think I need you in my life? You might be biologically related to me, but that doesn't mean you get to treat me and mine badly. Think carefully about what you do/say next, because this time it's not just me you lose contact with, but my dad too." And father-in-law has told his family that he will not hesitate to cut all contact with them if they even think about misbehaving towards her. Father-in-law calls our foster daughters his grandkids and their kids his great-grandkids. They love it. He also regularly talks with her heart brother over the phone, and since our daughter's one friend is over all the time, he treats him like another grandkid too. Because my wife introduced him as, "This is B, he's one of mine. B, this is my dad, F." My father-in-law heard He's my daughter's friend, but I adopted him in that statement. So father-in-law adopted him too. It's just how father-in-law is. And now I know where my wife gets a lot of her own a wife slash stray. Gosh, I must love it. I guess I'm saying that wrong. WAIF. Behaviors. Meaning family isn't always about biological ties. It's about the deep connections you make during your life with others. Please take care of yourself. File for Social Security survivor's benefits for your son. Yes, you can do this even though you weren't married. My wife did it for our daughter, who isn't my bio daughter, when her bio dad died. You need to consider it as child support and use it to help provide for your son and slash or his future schooling. Make a good home for your son, one that is a refuge for you both. No contact with your boyfriend's family. No contact with your mom and sisters. If at a later time in the future they can, as my wife puts it, behave like an actual civilized human being, then maybe consider rebuilding a relationship. But for now, nope. You do not need that in your life. Wife says love and hugs and take no crap. Yo, I'm vibing with Wise Excuses' wife. I'm vibing with how he is. And this is like a grandpa talking because his adopted kids have kids. He's old as dirt. And he's got a really strong wife. Because with their age, very easily his wife could be more demure because it's just that generation where it's like, don't speak up. Don't be a strong entity. You are just property of your husband. But here she is throwing blows, right? Here she is putting the whole Marine into a hold and kicking his ass out of their house. Man. OP replies to Wise Excuse. Thank you for sharing. You sound wonderful and your wife sounds so incredibly badass. I aspire to be like her. It's a bit hard to keep up with all the comments / DMs I'm getting, but I'm glad I read this. My dad's going to be helping me out with a lot of stuff, including the benefits you mentioned. And I'm even considering moving in with him. I will also be cutting my sisters and mother out of my life. I was terrified at first because then I felt like that I'd be truly alone. But reading everyone's comments and your own opened my eyes. Thank you so very much for typing this out and tell your wife that she's actually my role model now. Love and hugs to you both. Wise Excuse replies to OP. Wife says to tell you that you are now a member of the House of the Crippled Cat. Means your duty is to now raise your son in a loving manner. Always remember that your heart is big enough to love a lot. That you are stronger than you know and that you got this. It's okay to be kind, compassionate, and loving. But when you encounter people like your mom, sister, and your son's father's family, that kindness can be mistaken for weakness. Never be afraid to set them straight, even to the point you yeet them out of your life. Let your dad help you. My father-in-law is the dad I wish I had. He taught me so much about what being a man is. I watch him with B and realize he's influencing B in such a good way. I'm so humbled and grateful that your father-in-law took it in stride that since he loves his daughter, my wife, he loves me too. Your dad can be a good fatherly figure for your son and show him by example what boys and men are supposed to be. Treasure that. And if he wants you to move in, take that for the precious gift it is and soak up all the time you can with him while he's still here. When you are feeling unsure and faltering in your own stride, take a moment and just breathe. Listen for that quiet voice that will never, ever lie to you or lead you astray. Remember, there are people who will help you, love you, and will be rooting for you. You are doing an awesome job. All our love and hugs. So sweet. Let's go to the update. Wow, I've never felt so supported and loved in a very long time. I wasn't even going to post anything, but I'm so happy I did. I don't know how to explain just how big of an impact everyone's comments and DMs had on me. It was so lovely. And thank you so much for all the offers of friendship and more. So, as of a few weeks ago, I moved in with my father. Being alone with my son had me going crazy. The loneliness was literally killing me. I needed help and am no longer ashamed to admit it. My dad made the offer. I work Monday through Friday and then have the weekends off. And, well, I've been following everyone's advice and signed up for a mommy and me thing nearby. It was nerve wracking, but so many moms were so friendly and came up to me themselves. I got 3 numbers, and they're all inviting me to a dinner party. They're really sweet, despite being at least 5 years older than me. They sort of adopted me. LOL. Their words, not mine. I'm also going for walks after work. My dad and son come along sometimes. Me and my dad also cook together, and we make some pretty neat stuff for his girlfriend, who has also been really kind. As for my mother and sisters, I still don't know why they dislike me and my baby so much, but I took that step and left the group chat. This might sound ridiculous, but it was really hard. I even shed a tear, but I did it. They haven't spoke to me since. I contacted my in-laws one last time. I don't know why, but his parents said they were willing to meet. They won't try and take him from me, but my dad got me a lawyer just in case. I'm meeting them this weekend, and depending on how it goes, I will let them see my son eventually. Finally, I saw a doctor, and I've been diagnosed with PPD, postpartum depression. I'm currently seeing a therapist that was recommended to me, and I have started a treatment plan. My son, father, and his girlfriend have been my biggest supporters, and I'm trying to be better for me, but them as well. I've also been missing my fiance a lot these days, but his memory is kind of calming. I don't know. It hasn't been very long, but I'm already seeing improvements in my life. It's crazy how my original post kickstarted this change. Thank you so very much for everything. There's an edit. And thank you so much for all the nice comments and messages. I'm trying to read them all, but there's too many and I cannot keep up. I shed a few tears as well. The meeting with my in-laws went well, and my fiance's mother cried a lot and said she was so sorry. I didn't give too many details, but I did show them pictures of my son. They still won't be meeting him till a lot later and without me, but it's progress. Also, I call my fiance my boyfriend and fiance because, well, he passed a week. Wait, he passed away a week before proposing to me. I found the ring and his friends told me. So, although he was never officially my fiance, it's just comforting. And I call my in-laws because it helps with the word count. But yeah, thanks again. Smiley emoji. I could cry. Oh my God. From a comment from VL Dryer with 1.3K upvotes. Oh man, it's not often a post makes me ugly cry. I'm holding it in. I just went back and read your original post, and here I am, ugly crying my ass off, thinking how awful you must have felt when you wrote that. Oh, honey, what the fuck is wrong with your mom and your sisters? You lost your fiance. Of course you want to keep your baby. He's the last thing you have to remember, the person you plan to spend the rest of your life with. And you're left all alone, grieving and raising a baby and doing it with freaking postpartum depression? Oh, hell. You're a freaking badass for getting through that, OP. I'm just bawling thinking about it. I am so glad that you found a better life now. And I hope that your life only keeps getting better from here on up. Long distance internet stranger hugs. And OP replies, oh, thank you so much. It wasn't easy. I'm doing a lot better now, but there were many nights where both me and my baby would just be sobbing because I genuinely could not take it anymore. I had many depressive thoughts. Thankfully, I'm not in that place anymore. But yeah, thanks for the support and hugs to you as well. Oh I can hold it in. I can hold it in. It's great that our dad's here for her, that she has people she can rely on, and even that her fiance's parents came around. I will wear that ring on either on my finger or on a necklace around my neck all the time. I would make sure that my son gets it. Yep, it's a family heirloom now. Oh man, my only piece of advice is that you record videos for your kids. You never know when you may go. You record it for your significant others and for your family members. You make sure you have your will and testament set up, a living trust, and you have all your affairs in order. I know those things may cost, but at the very least, we got our phones on us. You can record videos and put them in the folders and put them on drives and put them on the cloud. You can do those things, and you make sure that people know they exist, or you make them as conspicuous as possible. Not inconspicuous, conspicuous, right? So it's easy to find when people are going through your affairs and your effects. We're over in r/Am I the Asshole with a post by Love AITA. Am I the asshole? I am dying and want to have a catch up with my first love. Hi, first time posting. I'm mobile. I'm sorry in advance for the typos. It's all good. For starters, I, 32 female, am dying due to cancer. It was diagnosed pretty late after 2 weeks of severe stomach pain and throwing up after every meal. At the stage I am in, doctors have suggested palliative care rather than any treatments, which I am sad about, but that's life, eh? I am from one of those countries where marriage is arranged rather than the Western way. I was in love with someone, I'll call him A, when I was 18 to 19 years old. Though he was from the same community I am, my parents did not agree to it due to his economic background, which was a few steps below us. My parents fixed my marriage with my husband, I'll call B, and we are married for 12 years now. We don't have kids. B doesn't know about A as my ex-boyfriend, but knows A as he is quite well known in our small city. He never asked me about my previous love affairs, since that is very taboo in my culture, and technically, I lied by omission. A remains single and is now a professor in our local university. He has gained quite a name by mentoring young people and directing them in the right studies/career path. Now, I have done everything I need to do. My legal and financial stuff is sorted, and I have spoken to my husband on what I need him to do. Get married again. Don't think of it as a betrayal to my memory. Don't ask if my parents are okay about it, etc. Just do what you need to do. Now, with people walking around me on eggshells, I've been thinking a lot about A, and I really want some time to spend with him. A couple of hours and have a meal and walk down memory lane. If he is willing, of course. I don't know. I feel like do what you like. On the other hand, I feel it's selfish, you know? My husband worships the ground I walk on, and I love him. But A is like that childhood crush on your favorite actor or sportsman, or first love in high school, which would be stored in a tiny corner of your heart and brings a wistful smile. You know? I am conflicted. If I would be the asshole if I tell my husband about A and this wish of mine. Notes. My intention is just to have a chat and a meal with just him. I have had 2 palliative surgeries and I have 2 bags in my lower tummy. So nothing physical or like an affair. It would just be him in my home. I see. She wouldn't even be able to have a proper meal with him. top comment. No assholes here. I don't know if it's a good idea to tell your husband exactly what your relationship with A was. However, I would just tell him that you want to spend time with your friends before you leave. A being one of them. You were friends years ago, even if that included a crush. And Mama Bear Jam, these guys got thousands of votes. I'm sorry. It says, no assholes here. Here, as long as the intention is catching up with an old friend, not a quick affair before you pass. And OP replies, oh no, let me edit my post. Thank you for your judgment. I can't go outside. I have some bags attached to my body. And Mama Bear Jam says, then absolutely no assholes here. Oh. Hunter of Shadows says, no assholes here. I can't in good faith call you an asshole for wanting to do this, but I do think it would be a mistake to contact him. While it could go well and then be a pleasant afternoon, it's far more likely that it'll either be incredibly awkward or incredibly painful for both of you. People love the idea of this sort of thing, and in movies and TV shows, it usually goes well. Reality, unfortunately, is often far different. I also think it will create a lot of tension and issues amongst the living, which is a selfish thing to do, dying or not. I'm sorry you have to deal with this, OP. May your spirit find rest in whatever lies beyond. Oh, I want to cry. OP replies, thank you. I'm very scared about what will happen, afterwards, but I understand where you're coming from. I appreciate your views. Hunter of Shadow replies, whatever will happen afterwards is up to you and your beliefs. It's your decision. And OP replies to that, our culture do believe in the soul never dies philosophy and approach death philosophically. I can't even get the words out. But I still don't know. I'm scared of the unknown. Though doctors say I would be knocked off with painkillers probably. Hunter of Shadow says, it doesn't have to be your culture's beliefs. You can decide on whatever you want. Personally, I want to go to Valhalla. Endless battle, feasting, and fun sounds fantastic to me. Valhalla has absolutely no connection to my culture, though. I kind of like your comments, Hunter of Shadows. OP just wants to talk to him. She just wants to spend a couple hours talking to him. And she even says she just wants a friendly chat. I don't know. I just have this silly urge to spend some time with him. It wouldn't be anything that would be a betrayal to my husband, though. I say do it. This story is old. Let's go to the update. Hi, this is OP's husband, and she has passed away after 5 weeks of posting this. I just looked into this account / phone before 2 days ago. She never told me about A herself, but we live in a small town and everyone knows about everyone's business, including rumors. So I kind of knew about this vaguely. A did come to see her as a courtesy once her illness became known to everyone in our place. She was a very nice human being, a dutiful wife and daughter, and I really miss her. She was also my best friend and confidant. She was genuinely nice and kind person, and she deteriorated quite quickly post her diagnosis. I just saw this account on her phone and am planning to have a chat with A to see if he would be willing to organize a scholarship paid by me with her inheritance. In her memory, to sponsor the higher education of a few kids every year and making them self-sufficient. This is something she wanted to do. I am still not sure if I should tell A that I know their history, but that's a different discussion for a different day. I wish she had been one of those miraculous recoveries where doctors aren't even sure how something happened. She was a very warm and loving person. And thanks to everyone who had messaged her asking for updates, checking on her. Thanks again. All right, I'm about to go cry. Two more. Top comment real quick from a deleted user. Thanks for updating us. I'm very sorry about your loss. We only got her for a couple of paragraphs and could sense her warmth and kindness through her words. I'm glad you got to live in that sunlight with her. All right, I'm out. Oh, fuck. We're over on r/Am I the Asshole with an H, with a post by MCNP-producer. Am I the asshole for telling my wife I will not be in her family's lives? Long story. I will start from the beginning. My wife and I have been married for 2 years, together for 6. Her family has always been very aggressive and rude. It's how they are, and unfortunately, that has included their behavior towards me. They have told me that I am unwelcome, talked about planning to take my children away from me, talked about how me marrying their daughter/granddaughter is the worst thing that ever happened to them. Things have built up slowly, but recently there have been some major events that sparked a bigger fire and made me blow up. Firstly, our honeymoon. My wife was born in Montreal and raised there until she was 8, at which point her mother left her father with the children over his alcohol problem. My wife wanted us to honeymoon in Montreal so she could take me through her memories there and show me where she grew up. When we told her family about this idea, they ended up inviting themselves. We told them we would like it to be our alone time, as we were pregnant at the time with our first and wanted a last vacation together alone. They could not respect that decision. Furthermore, 2 weeks out from our honeymoon, they reached out to my wife and said they would be more comfortable if I wasn't there and made her pick me or them. After days of guilt tripping her, she asked me to stay home and end up going without me. Yo, we rebooked a separate trip just for us a month later. When they found out about our separate trip, they got very offended and wouldn't let us hear the end of it. Everybody needs to get punched in the fucking face. I don't even need to continue fucking listening, reading. Ugh. Now I had finally not entirely gotten over it, but decided kind of, oh well, it happened, and I won't let it happen again. That brings us to this Easter. We were at our family's for the holiday to celebrate our daughter's first Easter. And the entire time we were there, they were throwing comments about how it's unfair that we don't make more time for them and how we don't put enough effort in to see them. Fuck you. We were originally staying over for 4 nights, but I got called into work and we had to leave a night early. Upon telling them this information, they blew up on me because I was just trying to keep their daughter away from them. I explained that I have a job and I need to keep it, and they settled down. They asked if we had any other shit we wanted to dump on them. Having already expressed some feelings, I decided also to tell them I was hurt at how often they brought up our lack of effort and how unfair it is that we don't see them enough. This made my mother-in-law explode. She started calling me a cunt, a piece of shit, and said that I am a dirty liar trying to steal her daughter. I'm sorry. Are you nutting in her too? I'm so confused. Last time I checked, this was my wife, you weird bitch. I mean, keep reading. I couldn't deal with all that name calling, so I got my wife and told her we were leaving. After we left, her mother was contacting her family and telling them I was an abuser and had manipulated and controlled her daughter into leaving. Then she sent 15 texts to my wife about surviving abuse and how she needs to escape from me. She said I was no longer welcome in their home. I didn't argue and figured I just wouldn't be there anymore. To finally tie this all up, today my wife got a text from her mother out of the blue. She wants my wife to go stay with her for a week with our daughter. She said we can just forget anything ever happened and treat her like we used to. She also said that this is the way I am and you cannot change me. You will have to learn to accept me eventually. I will accept you in the grave, bitch, and I will put you in there. Let me keep reading. She wants us to pretend she never did any wrong and put it behind her. She then lectures my wife about learning to take accountability. This manipulative, crazy bitch. Let me keep reading. This is where I blew up and I told my wife, your family is so manipulative and evil. I will not be taking part in any of their holidays or vacations, and I don't plan on repairing relationships with them nor ever seeing them again. My wife got upset because she wants us to be able to be amicable, as I am her husband and her mother is her mother. Her mother is using that as leverage. Yo, fuck your mom, bitch. I'm sorry. Fuck your mom. She's a bitch. She's trying to turn you into her. No. Ugh. I personally can't let go of her past actions and allow her to get away, especially with no apology or accountability. My wife desperately wants me to be able to. On top of this, our daughter is nearly 3 months and my wife has bad postpartum. Her family is not supportive, so a week with them would be very difficult on her with the baby. If I was there, I could support her and look after our daughter. It makes me feel torn between supporting my wife and taking care of my daughter and not putting myself in a position to be disrespected. So, am I the asshole? You're some kind of weird assholish victim for not immediately putting your hands on every single one of her family members who are on this weird manipulative bullshit. Everyone needs to get their ass beat. I don't care about that. Oh, she's a woman shit. I am a feminist. Men and women are equal to me. So if you say some dumb shit, if you do some dumb shit, I am liable to break your jaw. I'm me, Mr. Always on 10. Everyone is the same to me. They're on the same level, right? I put my hands on. Wait, hold on. I will not talk about crimes I have committed in the past on social media. I'm not PR trained, but I am definitely not a dumbass. I will not talk about crimes I have committed. I plead the fifth. OP, people, what do we listen to in the last story about how the one guy's wife changed the entire family's phone number, her number, her husband's number, her kid's number, and nobody was able to get in contact with them. Scrubbed social media, made brand new social media accounts. Nobody was. Motherfuckers had to pull up to her job in the parking lot, and she was ready to throw blows. Oh, you still not acting right? Bitch, get the fuck out of my face. This is how OP needs to be moving. I do not care that they are your wife's mother, grandmother, siblings, cousins. Everyone needs to get their ass beat for acting like this. They're only acting like this because no one's ever beat the brakes off of them. Of course, they were raised poorly, but we are past that point. You cannot raise adults. So they need to have consequences for their actions. And it's not illegal to be a manipulative piece of shit. So you just need to hurt them. I sound crazy, don't I? If I sound crazy, it is because you are a weak individual who will not stand up for yourself. It's just that simple. You can think of methods and ways to circumvent the bullshit, but people like this will pull up to your crib. People like this will pull up to your crib. It's just that simple. And so you gotta be ready to throw down for your family. If you're not ready to fight for your family, then you're a bitch. Honestly. Let's read this edit. More clarity. Honeymoon was November 2025. We married May 2024. June 2025, found out about the pregnancy. My wife has promised to stand up for me, and I always tried to believe it was true. Went through a rough patch when the honeymoon thing went down, where I told her if she couldn't find out how to stand up, divorce would be involved. Everyone around me, friends, family, told me not to make a huge deal out of the honeymoon thing because I could just plan another one. Y'all got money like that? Y'all got money like that? If y'all got money like that, move far away from these people. She started standing up for me for a few months and things were nice. Then she fell back into the old habit. She always says, this is normal. This is who they are and how they behave. And I feel bad because I know she was brainwashed for 18 years and has only been away from them for 4. She says she is starting to see it, but she is still too scared to stand up. When we had to tell her family we were leaving a night early, she broke down crying. Hence why I had to tell them. She is an abuse victim, making you into an abuse victim, but she is actively their tool and not your wife. Whenever they're around, whenever they're messaging her, whenever they're talking to her, she is much less your wife than she is their tool, their plaything for their manipulative ways, their weird enjoyment. That's why they want her around even more and they want you around even less because they see the good influence you're having on her and they're like, we don't like our doll to act in this way. We want our doll to do what we want our doll to do when we say to do it and how we say them to tell them to do it. You're changing her. We don't like her like that. Do I read a comment? Do I read the top comment first? Let's read the best comment. Not the top comment, the best comment. By Stallion8426, because we have updates. Not the asshole, but you have a serious wife problem. Your wife actually let her family uninvite you from your own honeymoon. I would have crashed out then. I'm Mr. Always on 10. 10 is that point right there. Well, I will hit someone, but there are levels beyond it. I would have crashed all the way out past that. There are not enough words in the English language to describe just how atrocious, disrespectful, and appalling that is, says Stallion8426. That your wife allows any of this behavior and hasn't cut contact herself means she isn't marriage material. And this got them 4.2 thousand upvotes and 5 awards. Ooh. And Vegetable Cod 2340 says it. This, OP, your wife uninvited you on your honeymoon. Your honeymoon. And despite all this prior disrespect, your wife expects you to be the bigger person and put up with more abuse. Crazy work. Let's read this edit. Or let's read this update, matter of fact. Let's read this update. Update. All right. I saw a lot of advice. First off, those saying, how did I not divorce her immediately? I want to address this. When we met, as she was living with her uncle across the street from her mother, we were long distance, 4 hours. Ooh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. That's the key lime pie from earlier. I did not meet her mom more than a dozen times prior to marriage because she did not spend time around her mother. So she was already trying to escape back then, but she could not escape her clutches. I would go stay with her for a week and we would not encounter her mother in that time even. Yo, I want to ask so many questions. Like, why is your mother such a pussy-whip bitch? But when you've been manipulated your entire life, how do you break those things when you don't have any tools or enough of a safety net, friend system around you, doctors to help you? Okay, let's continue reading. I'm sorry. Her mother didn't like her independence and so went low contact with her and told her she felt abandoned. The manipulation is crazy. My wife internalized this. My wife and I got married at 19. Too early. I'm saying this part. Too early. She moved from her uncle's into an apartment with me. Once again, low contact with her mom. Too early to be moving in with anybody. I'm saying this part. Me, Mr. Always on 10. OP isn't saying it. I'm saying this. Too early. She was unconsciously escaping everything from her family. I had not met her mom more than a dozen times still. You're married and moved in and you haven't met her more than the number of fingers and toes you have? I knew only at that time that her grandmother did not like me, but even she was not saying really crazy things to me yet until marriage. Aside from that, I sat down. I sat my wife down after gaining some courage from you guys. I felt like an asshole for a long time because I was told my feelings were manipulative and controlling, and so I shared usually only when the weight gets too much. This time, I got to share before a blow up, and it was much more conducive. The manipulators are calling you manipulative, bro. You should have been breaking knees, putting people in the fucking arm bars and shattering. Let me keep reading. Many of you suggested therapy. Bitch, yes. I decided to give therapy/counseling or divorce an option. Oh, wait, no, I misread that. I decided to give the therapy/counseling or divorce option. There we go. I completely misread that. I'm sorry. I need to calm down a little bit. Woosah. We will meditate after this. That's what we need to do after this episode. I told her I don't want to divorce her, but enabling her family has driven a wedge between us. And that if she wants, I can't even read now. And that if she went away for a week, she would return to divorce papers. Yo, double down, triple down. She's not going for a week. Her and I are going together for 2 days. Why? Arrive Friday night, leave Sunday morning. I will be with her the whole time. I am not going to pretend to be friendly with her family. I am not going to talk to them at all. As far as I'm concerned, I am there with my daughter as her protector. My wife agreed to this. I told her we need to come up with an actual real plan and see some follow through within a month. I take my parental leave in July and I want it stress free so I can enjoy my baby and spouse. I have a therapist already. I deal with bipolar disorder and have long bouts of depression. I am referring her to my therapist and have emailed my therapist about recommendations for couples counselors. Hopefully, this isn't just a yes, sir, in the moment and then a continuation of the pattern. If that's the case, I will follow through with divorce. I have gathered screenshots from my wife's phone and my phone, as well as got some from her sister, who also is on my side to an extent. Okay. I should have done this sooner. I just couldn't process that I had come to resent my situation. I was just living a loop with no introspection. Thank you for your comments. I will update as therapy goes on and definitely update after our weekend. First weekend of June. I don't think your therapist is the shit. Your therapist your therapist sounds like it kind of sucks to me. I know nothing about your interactions with them, but the fact of the matter is that they either are unaware or have not given you enough tools to be able to talk to your wife about this previously, as you have been together for multiple years now, to work through these issues. They suck, bruh. They do. I'm super pro therapy. I'm super, you're in a relationship, you should go to couples counselors consistently, right? What is it? What do I say? At least once a season, you should see a therapist. And based upon the conversations you have with them and their recommendations, then your thought process, you should see them however much. I go bi-weekly. Sometimes I miss a session, because my therapists get active. My therapists be outside and be teaching this shit, right? Maybe having their own life. And I'm like, all right, cool. Luckily enough, I'm not going through a crisis. I'll see you when I see you. Peace. It's so helpful to talk to a person that is not family or friends or a coworker or anybody that you know that is kind of technically a stranger, but is a professional and can properly help you go through the issues that you are going through. If you are able to open up to them properly and they are good at what they do, you will feel great afterwards, or shitty sometimes, right? Because you're going to be talking about the shit that you're going through and your own personal failures in life. And sometimes you will just feel shitty afterwards. Like, damn, I'm really seeing the bullshit that I'm doing to myself. So you might need a better therapist, OP. But I mean, definitely, period. She needs therapy individually to work through her own issues for years. Hopefully she gets better quickly, but years probably, because how fucked up of a childhood she had, that she had to move across the street to just be away from her mom. And you guys for sure need couples counseling. You should have already had this. I don't like this. We got another update. Let's read this one. Fuck the comments. We won't read just because this is all underneath one post. I'm not going to separate updates. This all OP got active with it, so I don't want to read comments that might spoil some shit. Update number 2. Ooh. After responses to the first update, I realized I was still not really fully advocating for my daughter nor myself. I was simply compromising to avoid real conflict. See, I peep it. Your therapist ain't shit. You need a new one. Because why are you still going through the multiple depressive bouts? I mean, I understand you have bipolar depressive. Like, I understand you're bipolar. I shouldn't talk shit about shit I don't know about. Right? Me not doctor. Me recommend you go to doctor. Me recommend you pick good doctor, best doctor. Try multiple doctors, but me no doctor. Me no diagnose. Me no speak on things me no know about. Me Mr. Always on 10. Me no cameras. Me no advice punch people. Me know 2 things. Me know 2 things. I sat down with my wife again and had further discussion. I read the Don't Rock the Boat post to her and compared it to her family dynamic, with her mother rocking the boat and her sisters expecting us to steady it so that they can ride along in peace. Brought up health/safety concerns about a 3-month-old being surrounded by stress, anxiety, toxicity for a weekend. Brought up that at this point, bringing our daughter is not for our daughter because 1, she has no memories of events yet. And 2, our home is healthier for her. Why did you even number these? You could have just said, and. You didn't have to number them. I had a funny little moment where she asked if I expected her to go without our daughter. And she said she would never leave her for days without her. And then I asked why she would expect the same of me. She quickly said she sees what I mean and said that in that case, she will not be going and will be staying home with daughter and I. We got to talk about just that part. Also talked more about her going no contact/low contact with her mother and grandmother and only seeing her sisters/uncle and letting them know in order to see us, they would have to visit us. Oh, is her uncle bullshit too? Man. Also brought up how in our 6 years, we have visited them nearly once a month, the entire relationship, and they have been to our house only in the single digits of times. So in 6 years, you've seen them over 72 times, but they send you less than me? Less than 10? What? I'm spending all this gas in this fucking economy? Bitch, are you insane? Let me keep reading. I think it is 8. Yo, 8 to 72? That's a full 90. 90 visits, and I'm the 8th? Yo, that's an insane percentage, bro. 72 plus 8 is not 90, it's 80. I'm sorry. I'm a little dumb. I'm just baffled. I'm so baffled I can't think straight. I need to just read the stories all the way through. That's what I need to do. Put the fries in the bag, bro. Also reminded her that when her mother came down for the birth of our child and she said she was staying a week, she ended up leaving 4 days early, citing that she was homesick, and yet holds us to a standard of visiting for more than 3 days at a time, even though she is retired with no children under 16 and we have a 3-month-old and I work full time while also being in school. There's no way I would not have crashed the fuck out. Wife understands that there is nothing positive to come out of continuing to speak with her mother as of now. What do you mean as of now? And is just trying to figure out how to tell her sister she won't be attending the next family gathering. Don't. Mute their fucking, mute their text messages. The fuck? If you want to be avoiding, go ahead, go all in. Mute that shit like it's a group chat. I suggested inviting just her sister down and that we would celebrate her birthday, just us and her, and get her a cake and whatnot so she doesn't have to give up celebrating with her sister. But we don't have to give up the health of our daughter and our own mental health. I think continuing daily talks with her will show her the actual importance of this and help her better see the real tension in our marriage. From the wedge her family helped her place between us, I will continue to update this, still especially with therapy and with mother-in-law and the other in-laws' reactions to the fact that we're not attending. This post is a month old. I don't know how old this update is, but this is new. So hopefully we get some updates in the future. Otherwise, I bet we're gonna grow up in a broken home, in a broken family. Jesus Christ says Philly for now, or Felly for now. And I got them 635 votes. You still married and had kids with her after she literally uninvited you from your own honeymoon? Do you have no spine? And OP says the fucking timeline again, like I care. My wife has promised to stand up for me, and unfortunately, I always tried to believe it was true. Went through a rough patch when the honeymoon thing went down, where I told her if she couldn't find out how to stand up, divorce would be involved. She started standing up for me for a few months, and things were nice. And then she fell back into the old habit. She always says, this is normal, this is who they are, and how they behave. And I feel bad because I know she was brainwashed for 18 years and has only been away from it for 4. She says she's starting to see it, but is still too scared to stand up. When we had to tell her family we were leaving the night early, she broke down crying. Hence why I had to tell them. But you're not talking about you, though, bro. You're not talking about how you're feeling and how all this shit makes you feel and the kind of turmoil that you're going through. You're still focused on, like, her and your family and really her family. I don't know. Let me go back up to that one point because there are like 2 things I want to touch on. I got crumbs in my pocket for some reason. I got crumbs in my pocket. Oh, somebody got a crazy ass paragraph I don't feel like reading because I got a lot to read for this story. Let me go back. What is this? I had a little funny moment where she asked if I expected her to go without our daughter. Where she asked if I expected to go without our daughter. And she says she would never leave for days without her. And then I asked why she would expect the same of me. She quickly says she sees what I mean and said that in that case, she will not be going and will be staying home with daughter and I. There is that inherent... Is it misogyny or misandry? I'm not even sure, to be completely honest. But it is baked into the fact of the matter, at least here in the United States, that men are not caregivers for their children. And she might have internalized this, which is like bullshit, which is unfortunate, especially if he takes care of their daughter, the same level that he possibly can, because he works, right? I don't think she does at this current moment because the baby's 3 months, right? And why the fuck would you be at work while your baby is 3 months old? Excuse me. I just grabbed onto the fact of the matter that she quickly says she sees what I mean. I don't think she does. She just didn't want to offend him. I don't think OP has ever really let his wife know how fucked up he really sees all of it, besides blowing up and maybe shutting down. So she's probably dealt with his depressive episodes before, but not yo, you're making me feel really, really fucking bad. What you're doing is super wrong. This is not okay. All right. So either she grasped it quickly or she did not, but she just wanted to not argue this portion. I kind of grasped that. So fuck the rest of the comments. Right. OP read that Don't Rock the Boat story, and we've never read it on this podcast before. So we're going to transition over to it. We're over in r/just no mother-in-law with a post by Breakfast Potato. Don't rock the boats. I've been thinking about this phrase a lot lately, about how unfair it is. Don't rock the boat. Because we aren't the ones rocking the boat. It's just the crazy lady jumping up and down and running side to side. not the one sitting in the corner quietly not giving a fuck. At some point in her youth, mom/mother-in-law gave the boat a little nudge and looked how everyone jumped to steady the boat. So she does it again and again. Soon her family is in the habit of swaying to counteract the crazy. She moves left, they move right. Balance is restored temporarily. Life goes on. People move on to boats of their own. The boat rocker can't survive in a boat by herself. She's never had to face the consequences of her rocking. She'll tip over, so she finds another enabler. Someone so proud of his boat steadying skills that he secretly, or not so secretly, lives for the rocking. The boat rocker escalates. The boat steadier can't manage alone, but can't let the boat tip. After all, he's the best boat steadier ever. And that can't be true if his boat capsizes, so therefore his boat can't capsize. How can they fix the situation? Ballast. And the next generation of boat steadiers is born. A boat steadier doesn't know what solid ground feels like. He's so used to the constant swing that anything else feels wrong and he'll fall over. There's a good chance the boat rocker never taught him to swim either. He'll jump at the slightest twitch. His life depends on it, because it did. When you're in their boat, you're expected to help steady it. When you decline, the other boat steadiers get resentful, look at you, just sitting there while they do all the work. They don't see that you aren't the one making the boat rock. They might not even see the life rafts available for them to get out. All they know is that the boat can't be allowed to tip and you're not helping. Now, you and your dear husband get a boat of your own. With him not there, the balance of the boat changes. The remaining boat steadiers have to work even harder. While a rocking boat is most concerning to those inside, it does cause ripples. The nearby boats start to worry. They're getting splashed. Somebody, do something. So the flying monkeys are dispatched. Can't you and your dear husband see how much better it is for everyone else if you just get back on the boat and keep it steady? It would make their lives so much easier. You know what would be easier? If they just all chucked the bitch overboard. Thank you for letting me ramble. Thanks for the support and advice and humor. Thanks for just being here. This is a post by, again, I say Breakfast Potato, over on Just No Mother-in-Law subreddit. This puppy is almost a decade old. Ooh, I don't even know what this is in relation to, but this is about their no contact story that did nothing. We may read this one day, so we'll save it for later. It seems like it might be a classic. I just wanted to read that as it goes perfectly with the previous story that we just read, that hopefully gets good new positive updates. If you see somebody's on bullshit, don't, and it's so hard to even say, because you get raised into it. You get raised by the mentally unstable individual who wants to do the crazy things that they enjoy doing and will make others around them steady the boat so they don't have a harsh life. Don't do that. Don't be a boat steadier. Rock the fucking boat that the boat rocker is on, knock them the fuck over, swim to your own boat, and then swim away from all of that bullshit. Have your own boat. Make sure you're just vibing, sliding, gliding throughout life, and you enjoy it. Do not steady the boat of a boat rocker. We got a Patreon exclusive story that we're about to dive into. So if you want to listen, if you want to watch, if you want to see me read a story about how my girlfriend of 10 years said that she needed more time when I proposed to her, click that link and subscribe to that Patreon. It would help me out. Man, I get some money into my pockets. I can like do some extravagant things, get some props. I would never have to quit making this podcast if you really love it and enjoy it and listening to it on the weekly, you know? And you get to hear some of the most messed up stories that I probably would not be allowed to share on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to your own preferred podcast, because these stories, unfortunately, sometimes get very, very, very messed up. And hey, these companies have policies. They cannot have certain content on their sites, which is understandable. So subscribe to new exclusive stories every single week. Yeah. Unless I skip them, like that one week. And then that following week I did 4. I made it up to the people. So you got a nice little Rolodex that you can go back to, and you can see those exclusive stories. Multiple weeks worth. Multiple months worth at this point, actually. Yeah. We're over in r/best of Reddit updates with a post that was originally shared to 2 hot takes and Am I the Jerk? r// by Least Ants. My girlfriend of 10 years said she needed more time when I proposed to her. Am I the asshole for checking out of my relationship ever since? This one gets to be a little wild. Final story of the day, you beautiful people. And I hope you've been enjoying this episode so far. I hope you didn't cry as much as I did, or if you did, respect, honestly. And I hope the sourness didn't like ruin your taste for this episode. So we're going to dive into one last one and vibe out with this one. We're over in r/relationships with a post by Throw8726. My 35 male girlfriend, 31 female, uncomfortable with my wife's ashes. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. Please tell me if I'm in the wrong here. Married high school sweetheart at age 25. She died in a car accident, and 5 years later, we love to travel, and so I had her ashes made into a diamond to take her with me on my adventures. Her ashes, along with both our wedding rings, are on a chain I carry in my pocket on my adventures. Helps me feel close to her. I will always love and miss her, but I know she wouldn't want me to be... cut this out. But I know she would want me to be happy and find love. I've been dating this new girl for over a year. I dated a bit and a couple years after my wife's death, but never found love until this new girl. I'll call her M. M is great and has been so supportive and understanding of my late wife. She knows about the chain and never said it bothered her, though she never knew the stone was my wife's ashes. I used to keep the chain on my bedpost, but thought it would be disrespectful to M, so now it's safe in a drawer. I still take it with me on travels. Em and I have talked about moving in together when her lease ends in 2 months. I'm ecstatic for this. I want to spend my life with her. Yesterday, I was packing for a solo weekend trip to the East Coast as she was over. When I packed the chain, Em asked me what the other ring was. Not my ex's or my wedding rings. It's technically not your ex, man. It's just your deceased wife. I understand why you said exes. I explained that I had ex's ashes pressed into a stone, and she flipped. Couldn't believe I had lied to her for a year and said what I had done was creepy and weird. Gave me an ultimatum. Get rid of the stone. I can keep our rings on the chain, just not the ashes, or she will not move in with me. I asked if I could put the stone away in a drawer, but she said no. It had to go. She refuses to spend another night with my wife in the house and said it's her or me. Please help Reddit. I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose this girl, but I also don't want to give up respect for the woman I once loved. My ex was not close to her parents, so I cannot give it to them. I can't just throw it away. I'm at a loss. Cancel my weekend trip. I just want to make things work with him. I get that you want to make it work with her, but I wouldn't. I would have blew up right then and there and dipped out. But I've never been married and never lost my wife, so we got to edit. I keep thinking to myself that making this stone was totally crazy. M told me that no girl would ever be comfortable with it, and that if I keep the stone, I will be living a lonely, miserable life. Women or men would find this a deal breaker. Am I insane? I understand why you find it a little off. This post is super fucking old. This is over a decade old. So I know it's a thing now. My, like, having people's ashes turned into a tree, be pressed into a stone is a more recent thing. My own mother told me that she wants to be turned into jewelry, and to be given to myself and my sister. But this was probably only 5 years ago, maybe. So even if she's known about it for 5 more years, this post is older than that. And OP had this done to his wife Ashes 5 years prior. Really? Wait, 5 years prior? Yes. Yeah, I had to do a little bit of math. I'm looking at the story and when the accident took place. So this would have happened fucking 2010. So I don't know if this became a thing recently or it's always been like an old custom, that now we really have the technology, so it's more mass, right? And this is like really, really, really an option. But let's read the best comment by a deleted user. This is so old. There are so many deleted users. I'm sorry, you guys. First off, you turning the ashes into a diamond is the most awesome way to carry someone with you. It was a great idea. Don't ever get down on yourself about that. Yeah, and I'm giving the girlfriend a little bit of slack, but to today's world, fuck no. Right? You talking crazy. You talking crazy about my dead wife. You talking crazy. And I would possess me, oh, father. Hold on. No, let me stop. Back to the comment. That said, and this is important, don't ever get rid of that stone. Ever. You'll never, ever forgive yourself. M needs to man up. It's not you. It's her. Here is where I can relate. My girlfriend's ex's ashes sit in a very small urn on a bookshelf in our living room. He died of a suicide. I'd never ask her to get rid of them. Those ashes are important. My girlfriend does not fawn over them. And in fact, honestly, probably forgets they are there sometimes. But those ashes are a memory of, and actually physically are a person. Someone I never knew, but a person nonetheless. And that was my girlfriend's person, not mine. I use past tense here. I think new girlfriend is very afraid of you not being over your wife. And I can get that for sure. But to have the fucking balls to demand that you get rid of yourself, what quite frankly is a very touching way to memorialize your wife, is so far out of line, I can't even fathom that she said it and meant it. If your girlfriend doubles down on this and says, me or the stone, the answer has to be an immediate, the stone. Because this demand sets a terrible and sour precedent for your future together. I'd never forgive her if I were you and she made me give that up. That stone has nothing to do with her and she can fuck off about it. I stand fast, man. I stand so fast. Please don't cave on this. Don't tell me, show me, drops a comment with 3 upvotes. This is like forever ago. You are allowed to grieve and remember your late wife in whatever way you choose. And those that claim to love you will support you. Your girlfriend is insecure about a woman you have loved that is not a threat. And that, to me, indicates potential for other unrelated problems down the road. She needs therapy, therapy. She needs therapy, therapy, counseling, therapy. Wait, why is that the Spider-Man theme song? Let me stop. My guess is that your girlfriend has never suffered a loss of the magnitude that you did, and she is not at all putting herself in your place. If she can't set her pride and insecurity aside and even try to see your perspective or show willingness to compromise, then find someone who can. I agree. And OP replies to this. Thank you. Your guess is right. Emma has never lost a grandparent. She is very lucky in that she hasn't yet had to experience the type of pain death brings. I think her strong reaction comes from the fact that the ring is made from my wife's remains. It's a very new concept for her to grasp. Yeah. Hell's Bell Snow comments, I think the problem isn't the diamond is made of ashes, but the concern that you might never love her the way you loved your wife. Is it truly healthy to hold on to this diamond in every adventure? Surely it is sweet, but honestly, I can't see you falling for someone else when you hold on so tight to these memories. Maybe you should find a home for the diamond, somewhere safe, where you could come for comfort. This is something only you can decide. If I were your girlfriend, I'd feel like I'm living in someone else's shadow. It is selfish to ask you to get rid of it, but I do not think it's weird she is bothered by it. Sorry for the English. It isn't my first language. Good luck there. Your English was fine. I'm just a little confused about your thoughts and your feelings, though. But I grasp them because it seems like people deal with this a lot when they get with an individual who has lost a partner. Especially because it's not like they broke up or, oh, she cheated on me or, oh, my kids aren't mine. Right. And they find out after the fact. So OP replies to that. M told me to take the stone off and get rid of it. She says she didn't mind the rings, just not the stone. I asked if I could put it in a drawer or something so we didn't have to see it. She said no. She would not take the next step in our relationship unless it was no longer in my possession. This is why I'm at a loss. We never have to look at it again, but I don't want my wife's ashes in some dumpster. And that's it for me right there. That once you're moving like that, you're out, bro. You're out. Small update. Whoa, this totally blew up on me. I had no idea my story would get such a response. Yeah, Brody got 443 comments. I was hoping for a comment or two, but this is crazy. This morning, I took some time to read what all of you wrote, and I'm hoping that M will settle for a safety deposit box or leaving it at my mom's. She's never had somebody she cares about pass away. And I think, I think the thought of my wife's remains being in my house freaked her out. She's coming over tonight to talk. I will try to update you all soon. Thanks for all the support and helping me to know that what I did with my wife's remains wasn't that insane. It's not. It's not. People have ashes all the time. People have like whole shrines set up depending on the culture they're from. There are cultures where people go and visit graves every single year and they clean the graves off in the grave grounds and they leave flowers and offerings and everything. All right, bruh. People really, truly, wholeheartedly respect the dead. Even though I'm always like, oh, fuck the dead, fuck they traditions and all that. I'm never moving like this. I'm never like, chuck the urn. I'm never like, fuck that dead person. You loved them. They were your wife. I would never be like that. Never like that. On to a proper update. We met up on Saturday. There was a lot of dialogue between us, but I'm going to try to keep it short and paraphrase what we said. I know many of you said to give M time to cool off, but I just couldn't spend my whole weekend knowing she was unhappy. You are thinking about her more than she is thinking about you, bro. I invited her over for dinner and spent the day cooking her favorite meal. Bro, it's simped out. I took the ring over to my mom's house because I know it being in the house made her uncomfortable and bought her flowers. I really wanted to show her that she has no competition, that I love her. You still love your dead wife, bro. Come on. When she comes over, the first thing she says, is it still in the house? When I assure her it's not, she comes in and sits down. I started by apologizing, explaining that I never meant to lie to her or hurt her, but I now realize I was lying by omission and it wasn't fair to her. Okay. I apologized again and said I hope she doesn't lose all the trust she had in me. I then told her how much I love her. I explained how much she means to me and how easily I could see myself spending my life with her. I go on and on about how happy she makes me, blah, blah, blah. She likes all this lovey, apologetic talk and is smiling and holding my hand, telling me it's okay and that she loves me too. I then say, it's time to talk about the ring. She changes right before my eyes. She lets go of my hand and her happy face was replaced by one of anger. Just imagine obsession. Imagine I'm making that face. I can't make it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna read. Let's be serious. She said something along the lines of, I thought you got rid of it. And I told her that I never said that. I simply said it wasn't currently in the house. She got angry, but I asked her to listen to me before she said anything. I explained that when my wife died, I didn't have the heart to bury her, and having her remains around felt odd to me. So the ring seemed like the best option. At this point, she's crying, with her face in her hands. I asked if she would be okay with me keeping it at my mom's place or in a safety deposit box. And she's silent, then cries, "Why couldn't you just bury her like a normal person?" Now I'm crying and I say that I'm sorry, that I respect my wife's memory, but I wish it didn't disrupt our relationship because I love you, Em. Anyway, we cried. She said that she wishes the ring didn't bug her as much as it does, but that she's just not sure if she can be with me. Bitch, leave. She says making your wife a ring isn't what normal people do, and it's making her question about my character. Leave. I asked her what she wants me to do with the ring, what her idea of get rid of it is, hoping we could compromise. She says she doesn't know what I should do with it. She just wished it never existed. She says she loves me, but she's just not sure about the relationship anymore. Told me she needs to think on it. Left without even eating her dinner. You did all that, bro. You did all that. I haven't heard from her since. I'm not quite sure what to do or what we are at this point. We have stuff at each other's places and both have keys. I love this girl, and I don't want to easily give up on us, but I'm hesitant to reach out to her again. I'm thinking of giving it some time and hoping she reaches out to me. I don't know. The thought of losing Em breaks my heart. Best comment? Not top comment, best comment. There are billions of people. Not everyone does the same. Do not get rid of the ring. You will regret it. Put it away in a safe where she doesn't have to see it and let her know. And tell her that you won't make her remains into a ring if she doesn't want to. Pumpkin Rum dropped his comment, and that gave him 300 upvotes. Zizzy Moo comments. So I mentioned in your other post that I didn't think this was actually an issue of insecurity, since she has no problems with you having the wedding rings, but an issue that she has with the remains themselves. And yeah, this post seems to make that even more clear. It isn't that she's troubled by you having loved someone else. She's just uncomfortable with the very practical side of death that involves disposition of remains. Or should I say dispossession? What do y'all like? Disposition? Dispossession. I still think you should buy a tree sapling, place the ring among the roots, and plant the tree. There are always tons of plant a tree events / movements going on in city parks and such. So it wouldn't even have to be a tree you planted on your property or your mother's. No, because then what happens when the fucking property gets sold and it gets ripped up? Free diamond. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is somebody's remains too. Doing that will honor your wife, honor her remains, and fit your girlfriend's idea of proper remains disposal, assuming you still care to accommodate that. And really, it's what I advise doing with the stone regardless, because I have a feeling that even if things don't work out with this lady, you're going to have a hard time finding a woman who won't have a negative reaction to either their emotional implications or the practical disposition of remains thing. How did you type it like that? Personally, it wouldn't bother me, not the stone or the wedding rings, but I realize I'm not most people, and I'm not really wired to feel jealousy or anything like that. Plus, having been a paramedic for so long, I'm just not squicked out by the whole dead body / remains thing. Squicked? Is this a word? Squicked? Oh, yeah, it is. Squick. Cause someone to feel intense disgust. Huh. Okay. It's a new word today. I recognize that most women, and men for that matter, aren't going to bring that same background into a situation like this. So I think you should plan accordingly. I agree and disagree with this guy. But OP says, I agree with you 100% that it's not coming from a place of insecurity, but being uncomfortable with the idea of human remains. Thank you for your input and suggestions. Yeah, I'm not really vibing. Not really vibing. I'm not really vibing. Let's read this little edit. I want to add that I don't really think this is about being insecure or jealous of my wife. I think M is freaked out by the fact that I had my wife cremated and turned into a stone. I think even if I had her in an urn, M would still be freaked out. M hasn't had any experience with death, but I think she was raised with the idea that when somebody dies, they go into the ground. The fact that my wife isn't buried somewhere freaks her out. Let her know she's fucking dumb then. Let her know she's ignorant. Final update. Again, thank you all for the support in the last two posts. You really helped me keep a clear head through all of this. I had no idea Reddit could help me so much. I didn't plan on posting again, but I have some surprisingly good news. Last night I came home from work to find a framed photo from my wedding hanging on the wall with a chain dangling around it. There was also a 5-page note from M on the coffee table. I'm not going to type the whole note because a lot of it was very personal to M. However, I will say that there was a lot of apologizing on her part. She told me she thought a lot about the ring and even did some Googling and realized that it's not all that uncommon. She said she was completely embarrassed by her reaction and that she was uncomfortable with the thought of being around anybody's remains. She called herself disrespectful, childish, and pathetic, which she fucking was. That's not OP saying that. That's me. It's coming straight from the heart. M also said what I did was a beautiful thing and shows what a sensitive and loving man I am, that she wants to be with me more than anything and doesn't want to change a thing about our tradition, which is taking the ring traveling. She told me she now sees that it's a lovely idea and said my wife was lucky to have me in my family, that she as well as is very lucky to be a part of my family's life. She concluded saying that she felt as though we had a good connection and handled conflict well. Somebody must have slapped her on the back of the head. That's what I'm peeping. She said she hopes that I know her well enough to know that this isn't the way she typically reacts. I do. She also told me she was going to get therapy and she is worried about what will happen once somebody knows, once somebody she knows dies. That last part of her note said that she left a surprise in my fridge. A 6-pack of my favorite beer. Okay. And that she'd love to enjoy them with me if I'll have her. She told me take all the time I need before calling her and that she hopes someday I'll forgive her for her actions. I called her immediately. We talked and she pretty much repeated what she said in her note. I repeated what I said at dinner, that she is my number one and that I'm so sorry for lying about the ring by omission. We have plans to see each other tomorrow night. I love the photo of me and my wife. I don't have many photos of us and none that are framed. The chain looks perfect around it and it's a nice little memorial to have in my home. I love the idea of starting a new home with him while still having my wife's memory be a part of it. So you brought the rings back from your mom's house and she went through your crib and set this up. She did the best thing that she would be comfortable with after sort of getting over it. I know this is not what many of you wanted to read. Yeah, I wanted you to break up with her. You wanted me to kick M to the curb. However, I think that a year of good actions make up for one bad action. Her apology was genuine. I really do feel as though this won't happen again. If she tries to control something like this again and I can't resolve it, I guess I know where to post. Winky face. I can't thank you all enough. Edit. I was expecting you all to be disappointed in me, and yet the first comments are saying how happy you are for me. Thanks again, Reddit. And yeah, Catchip drops a comment with 2.2K upvotes. This is a lot. This is what a lot of us wanted to read, and it shows she can learn from her mistakes. I wish both of you the best. Yeah, and I'm kind of jaded from the story, even though this is my second time reading it through. This is honestly for the best, right? He gets to keep his girl. I'm definitely sure that he's going to keep going on adventures with his wife's rings and his own, which is how it should be, until he feels satisfied. You know, it's just something. It's a little something left over from the years that he had with her. It's not a lot. It's nothing crazy. It's just something. I like it. I vibe with it. I think the number one thing is not being ignorant, because she Googled it. I'm curious why she Googled it, to figure it all out, but knowing is more than half the battle. That's the majority of it. So she was predispositioned to think in a certain way, and now those thoughts have been cleared up. Now she doesn't have to worry anymore. And she can be on the right side of things. And that's what's most important. Being intelligent, understanding, clear-minded. And so you can maneuver through life and make good memories. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I have been your host, Mr. Always on 10. And I hope you beautiful, wonderful, intelligent people and need to be educated, poorly educated, need to be educated, idiotic people. I forget my own catchphrase. Have a beautiful, wonderful day, night, week, month, and year. Thank you.